Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Kyuubi never attacked Konoha and Minato and Kushina were still alive. Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. It was October 10th. The Yondaime Hokage was finishing some paperwork in his office when he decided to look at a photograph hidden inside one of his table. There she was, his lover Kushina, pregnant with their baby. This morning, Kushina went in labor and Minato was cursing the paperwork, since he wanted to be with his wife and his baby for the first time, and yet, he was looking at some Umbu reports about border patrol missions near IWA. Suddenly, a dog masked Umbu entered the room giving news. Yondaime-sama, I bring news from the hospital. The birth was a success. Kushina and the baby are okay, said the Umbu aka Hatake Kakashi. Thanks, Kakashi, I must go there then. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu, screamed Minato, leaving a clone to do his duties as Hokage and left for the hospital. Very clever, Hokage-sama. If the Sandaime knew about this technique, he would have done his job in no time. Sarutobi knew about the Kage Bunshin, he just didn't want to use it. Let's go, Kakashi. At the hospital, Kushina, a beautiful woman with long red hair, was looking at her baby. She could look at him forever and it wouldn't be a waste of time. Her baby was sleeping peacefully on her arms. His little blonde hair was just like his father when he was born. As she turned to look at the window, she immediately recognized her fiancé's chakra signature coming to the hospital and smiled. Minato was a very busy person, but he always managed to make time for his family. Hello, Kushina-chan. Is that our baby? You bet it is. This is Naruto and is just like you when you're born. Take a look. He is beautiful, blonde hair, blue eyes. Oh look, he's opening his eyes, and he is waking up. When Naruto opened his eyes, he saw a man with golden hair smiling at him, and somehow Naruto recognized the man, since he started to smile at the man, making happy baby noises and trying to reach the guy's hair. Sadly for Minato, the baby reached his hair and started pulling, hurting a lot. Naruto, stop it, it hurts, hee. Everyone in the room was laughing at the father and son bonding. Right now, in the room there was Kakashi, disguised as Umbu, Jiraiya as Naruto's godfather, and Sarutobi, the Sandaime Hokage. Kushina couldn't help but cry seeing that her fiancé and her son were already bonding like father and son, showing that their son will be raised with love and care from their father. Kushina-chan, he is beautiful, isn't he? Said Minato, earning a smile from his wife, while embracing her son. Of course he is our baby, he is the most beautiful baby I've ever seen. After some time at the hospital and a few Jounin visitors, Minato and Kushina went home to take their Naruto and place him in his new crib, located at the Namake's mansion, near the Hyuga compound. Once inside, Minato was greeted by his neighbor Hyuga Hayashi, the head of the Hyuga clan. Greetings, Hokage-sama, how is Naruto? Greetings, Hayashi-sama, he is fine. Kushina is inside fixing his crib for him. It's great, Hokage-sama, me and the Hyuga clan offers all the support and care for little Naruto, said Hayashi. It's good to hear, Hayashi-sama, but I'm worried about him growing up though. I don't want for him to be spoiled by everyone. I want him to grow by himself. Oh well, for now there is no need to worry about that. Now don't you agree, Hayashi-sama? Said Minato, smiling to the Hyuga leader. The boy was just born, Hokage-sama. At least until he is 6 years old, you don't have to worry about him growing up spoiled, said Hayashi, laughing at the lack of father experience by the Hokage. After some talk between the leaders, both bid their farewell and each went towards their houses. Minato entered inside Naruto's room and saw the blonde little Gaki sleeping peacefully alongside Kushina. Seeing that, Minato just couldn't think on a better photo scene to remember by. That was the day that a new journey began, and having a family to look after and support was by no doubt Minato's dream, since he met Kushina back in Whirlpool Country. Meanwhile at the Konoha Academy. Across the village, 8-year-old purple-haired Yuzuki Yugago was seen attending the Konoha Academy today, since the class teacher was lecturing about the history of the Hokages of Konoha and each of their abilities and acts as village leader. After some boring lectures regarding the first and the second Hokages, Yugago was beginning to take interest when the Sandaime and Yondaime's history was being said by the class teacher. She did not like history too much, since most stories were rather exaggerated and far from the actual truth. Rather, she enjoyed learning events that happened near her birth and beyond. Therefore, she liked here the Sandaime that was trained by the Shodaime, and the Nidaime as well as his nickname as being the professor. But the Yondaime was by far her first subject in class in terms of history. 1, because he was still alive, 2, because his actions saved the village countless times, and 3 was that just like any other kunoichi hopeful had a crush on their leader. when suddenly the bell rang showing the students that they were getting a break for lunch. Yugugo went along with her red-eyed friend Yuhei Kurinai, in order to have some lunch at the Dango place, their favorite place in Konoha, since they sometimes meet an older friend by the name of Midarashi Anko. When they arrived there, they saw Anko chewing her second dango stick, showing her usual grin while scanning around the place. Anko was never known for being discreet about certain behaviors around people, and the two friends knew that aspect from early experience. One time, a drunk Chunin came cursing Anko as being the snake bitch. Needless to say that Anko beat the crap out of the guy, having the courtesy to take him to the hospital hanged on the neck by a snake that appeared out of her arm. "Good morning, Anko-chan, you're here already?" Yugugo greeted the snake mistress. Yugugo-chan, Kurinai-chan, how is school doing? Is that bastard Irika still boring you guys with history lessons?" said Anko as she remembered when Irika and her were promoted to Chunin, and that he wanted to become a teacher instead of being in active duty as shinobi. "Don't say that, Anko-san. I believe it's vital for us to learn about our leader's history, don't you think, Yugugo-chan?" asked Kurinai, already expecting her friend to laugh at her question just like she always did. "Oh, I don't care about the past leaders, but I could just hear the Yandame's history all day if I could. He is so pretty. I can't wait to be a genin, so I can have missions and maybe some time alone with Minato-kun. Wouldn't that be great?" said Yugugo, acting like a fangirl over the Yandame, much to everyone's dismay. Actually, Kurinai and Anko wasn't that interested in their leader's looks. Well, not that they don't find him good-looking, but they just didn't feel the same way as Yugugo did. Man, since she laid her eyes at the Yandame that day, she stopped looking at other guys. To Yugugo's eyes, that is only the Yandame, sighed Kurinai, looking at her friend drooling only on memory. "Sure, he is cute, but Kakashi-senpai is much cuter than him," Anko mumbling, chewing some dangos. "What about you, Kurinai-chan, any man in particular?" "As a matter of fact, I don't know anyone interest at the moment," Kurinai answered, showing the reason why her nickname in the academy was the Ice Princess of Konoha, because of the fact that she was always by the book, showing more interest on the class than the whole classroom combined, not at all caring about boys at the time. When they realized they were late to go to class, the two friends went running to the academy, well, more Kurinai running and Yugugo walking, not sharing her friend's enthusiasm about the academy and learning. At the academy, they were learning about the elemental chakras that are within the elemental countries around the shinobi world. "Okay, class, now I already think you were taught by your parents about the inner elemental chakra, seeing that every Chunin level ninja's chakra was based on any of the 5 different elemental chakras: Rai, lightning; Kaze, wind; Mizu, water; Tsuchi, earth; and Hai, fire. Actually, in Konoha, since we are in the fire country, the Katon chakra is the most popular element. The wind-type chakra is the most rare chakra type here in Konoha. As a matter of fact, I happen to know only one wind user, that is the son of the Sandame Hokage, Saratobi Asuma." Irika went for another hour talk about the elemental chakra, then called everyone to go outside for weapon and target practice. Upon hearing that, Yugugo suddenly woke up. She wanted to grow up as a weapons specialist, and target practice was her favorite subject, and she happened to be the best, since she never missed a target. When she was called to practice, everyone just stared at the target in awe, seeing that every shuriken and kunai that Yugugo was through were being hit. Since she aced the test, the academy gave her a full set of recently made kunai and shuriken just for her. After school, Yugugo went home with a smile on her face. She was carrying her prize proudly when suddenly a couple of bullies arrived, demanding her to give them the weapons. "Alright, you bitch, hand those kunai to us and we won't hurt you much, now give them to us," one said with a strong tone, trying to make some killing intent. "Oh, and why would I succumb to a guy that failed the exams 3 times, already?" said Yugugo, not showing any interest on the outcome of the situation, only wanting to go home and show her family the new kunais and shurikens. "So, wanna play tough, don't you, girlie? It's your funeral," said another one of them, already trying to kick her stomach. Seeing this, Yugugo suddenly entered combat mode and took one of her new appointed weapons. After picking 3 kunais, she began to threat the bullies, feinting the threats, so not to actually hurt them. Much to her fortune, the guys signaled defeat and ran away scared of the kunais, screaming "crazy lady" repeatedly. Jerks, word occasionally used by Yugugo to describe those who thinks that size and sex gender are everything. At the Yuzuki residence. A couple more minutes, she arrived home and went to show her father her prize won at the academy. Yuzuki Momoto was a retired Umbu operative under the wing of Hataki Kakashi's command in Squad 2. Nowadays, he fixed weapons for ninjas that were broken in battle. Yugugo's mother was a civilian, so she stayed at home, taking care of the house and her family. Suddenly, a beautiful girl with long purple hair entered the kitchen door, screaming to get her mother Yuzuki Yakushi's attention. "Ka-san, look," shouted Yugugo, showing her new display of kunai and shuriken that she won at the academy. Easy, there Yugogo-chan, let me see what you got there. Those are very beautiful, Yugogo-chan, where did you find them? I won at the academy for acing the target practice, screamed Yugogo with all the joy in the world, when she heard another footstep entering the house. Tu-san, look, I won them for acing an exercise at the academy. My, Yugogo-chan, you're becoming more like your old man by the minute. I remember when I earned a new set of weapons like that. I was just like you, cheering all over the place. Mamoto said, earning a smile from his daughter, but not a simple smile. It was a smile that Mamoto could see every day and just be glad that Kami gave him such joy in his life. So he just stared at Yugogo's smile, smiling even more, happy to have such a happy family, which didn't go unnoticed by his wife. Yugogo-chan, why don't you go to your room and choose a place for your new weapons? After that, come back down so we can fix dinner for today, okay? Okay, Ka-san, I'm on it. Hey Tu-san, can you give me some katana display? I'd just love to see your dance of the crescent moon style. Okay, Yugogo-chan, maybe after dinner, I'll show it to you, by the moonlight. After that, Yugogo went upstairs screaming like never before, just happy. Upon seeing her husband's bright smile, Yukushi couldn't help but see the man that he turned out to be, a very capable ninja, a good husband and the best father figure for Yugogo. You know, I just amused by the way that our daughter's smile brightened up your day, like that, Mamoto-kun, said Yukushi. Jealous, aren't you? Hee. No, every time I see her smile, I just thank to Kami-sama that he gave me the best family a man could ever want to have, said Mamoto watching to the clouds outside their house. Upon hearing this, Yukushi went to her husband and just gave a kiss on the lips, showing to the man just how much love his wife feels for him. When Yugogo came down the stairs, she saw her parents cuddling each other with kisses, hugs as well as gentle whispers to each other's ears. Immediately, her heart showed Yugogo that the love of their parents were stronger than before and she only wished that she could find a man who could be there for her, just as her father was for her mother. Actually, in spite of the kunoichi's way of life, every girl or woman's wish are the same. They wish to find the one true man that can hold them tight and treat them with all the love the man could muster, showing to the female thoughts of joy and happiness, finding the one to spend the rest of her life with. Yugogo, despite her crush on Namake's Minato, the Yandame Hokage of Konohagakure, she knew deep inside that it would never happen and wished to find the one when time comes. Ah, Yugogo-chan, did you hear the big news? Shouted Yukushi, earning the interest of her daughter. What is it, Ka-san? The Yandame's son was born this morning. I think his name is Namake's Naruto. The Yandame's son, could he be the one? Yugogo was caught wondering, since she was thinking on the subject of finding a man just like her mother found her father. After some time, the Yuzuki family had dinner. Mamoto showed his daughter his kenjutsu dance under the moonlight and Yugogo just looked amazed at her father's ability. But she wasn't the only one doing that, since her mother was watching her husband as well, remembering back the time when they met the first time, seeing him performing an exhibition to the Sandame at the Umbu headquarters. Yugogo was again thinking and she concluded what she wanted in the future one was being a strong and capable ninja following her father's abilities and finding a suitable man that could show her what her father show every day to her mother and me. Oh my god, I'm too young to be thinking about having kids. At the Namake's household. It was approximately 9 at night, and Minato was just entering his house. He was exhausted. After dealing with an Umbu mission that went wrong, the young Hokage had to calm the fire daimyo and assure him that not all missions are successful and Konoha ninjas were taught to deal with the outcomes of battle, should they encounter an obstacle during the mission. The daimyo sighed in anticipation for losing a precious cargo, due to an army of bandits winning a battle against the recently promoted Chunin team and stealing the cargo which consisted of important medicine to one of Fire Country's villages that needed assistance. Minato, for his part, was relieved that the Konoha ninjas' injuries weren't life-threatening and that they would recover in 2 or 3 days after some rest. Still, Minato didn't want to lose his shinobi's lives. He wanted to spare as many lives possible during his reign as Konoha Hokage, but he realized deep inside that his dream would be far from reachable, seeing that death was a part of a shinobi's way of life. Inside his room, his wife was deep asleep as well as their Naruto. Minato was glad that he could come home after a stressful work and find his family smiling like they didn't have problems at all. Minato took a deep look towards his son and wondered if his son would follow his father's footsteps, entering the shinobi program. He sighed, thinking about sending his son on missions, worrying about his safety and everything. Minato sighed once again, thinking that he had to prepare the young generation better to face stronger enemies, so he went to his desk at home and took a scroll that he was looking at. The scroll involved the academy routine, as well as the exercises and tests. He was also looking at the way Konoha establishes the teams of genins fresh out of the academy. He needed to change that as well. He knew that the latter would be better to improve right now, since he already made up his mind as to what was his idea. So let me see, rather than keeping on certain traditions about genin teams, I think I'll establish them as a way to cover each member's weaknesses. The academy actually would have to improve the battle part, beginning to show the students D and C ranked ninjutsus other than only E ranked ones, like Bunshin and Henge. The students would have to have access to a little introduction on elemental ninjutsu training, as well as genjutsu, since the latter was beginning to crumble around Konoha. The ninja seems to forget about the art of deception and only focus on the battle and destruction, therefore, focusing only taijutsu and ninjutsu. Based on the number of genins, Konoha can form different kind of teams, being a demolition team, information gathering team, full front team. The options can be rather promising. A full front team would resort to taijutsu and short distance ninjutsu of all kinds. The information gathering team would be focused on genjutsu and espionage, leaving demolition teams for strong and long-range ninjutsus. Now these teams' missions would be based on their speciality, but their jounin sensei would have to have knowledge in more than one area of expertise, so that the genins can train in other forms of fighting as well. Wondered Minato for a while, resting on the house's couch, next to a glass of sake. But the problem with his new academy training is that he had to wait a bit, since he wanted to see just how the old system worked, still assuring that even though the academy's way of teaching was old and didn't bring any practical results, in fact the students only showed results when they were already in a team of genins. This was going to change, wondered Minato. But he sighed in defeat for the day, figuring that he had to consider a lot of aspects in order to change practically the entire teaching system of future shinobis, that were designed originally by the Sandaime, in his first year as Hokage. He went to sleep, remembering to talk to the Sandaime tomorrow, since he was now Minato's chief advisor in political affairs and shinobi program. On the next day, inside the Hokage's office, Minato was handling the worst enemy of every Kage's existence right now, paperwork. Suddenly, a knock on the door, hearing his secretary informing the Sandaime is waiting for him. "Send him in, Matsumi-san," screamed Minato. "Oh, Yondaime-sama, it's nice to see you. What do you request to talk about?" said Sarutobi, with formalism. "Don't need to be formal here, Sarutobi. I was thinking about changing your school program, since our current don't actually train our students well enough to face our missions." Yes, at the beginning, the system was promising, but the students lacked motivation, graduating the academy by just performing E-ranked jutsus. I believe as well that a small change should be welcomed, thought Sandaime. "Read this scroll. In there are some of my ideas to change," said Minato, handing his scroll to the Sandaime. After careful reading, Sarutobi was thinking again. He considered all of Minato's ideas and was quite pleased with his successor for not putting the next generation to suffer at the academy. Instead, his plan formed a teaching more based on fighting than teaching theory lessons. Also a quiet interest in updating the strategy lessons, showing the students situations on hypothetical missions to see how they would fare against obstacles in future missions. But Sandaime was getting second thoughts about teaching students C-ranked jutsus, since he knew that they would have high responsibilities about fairly using them. Minato, for his part, actually sighed, thinking the same as his predecessor. "If you thinking about teaching them C-ranked jutsus, scratch that. I think that D-ranked jutsus would be better to teach, since not only the destructive rate and the chakra needed for it would be smaller, but the genin's hopefuls would have a better grasp out of elemental jutsu and not using them to a high level, until they have experience with it, don't worry." Yes, it would be rather disastrous if academy students were to send big fireballs all over the academy, destroying everything. "I think this will be quite beneficial to our training program, Minato-san." "Yes, it would. We can also improve our medical training, since over the years, Tsunade-sama made quite an impact on the young kunoichis," said Minato, remembering when he was a chunin at the time and the meeting where Tsunade requested the improvement of the medical training. "Yes, she is quite capable. If she was here, she would be heading our hospital and improving it like never before, but she lost her family here in Konoha, so it would be difficult for her to come back," sighed Sandaime, after the past 3 attempts of trying to reach her. "That's a pity, but Sarutobi, we need to move on. If she wishes to come back, we are all arms for her. But right now, we have to think of a new academy regimen. There is a lot of aspects to cover." "Right, so how is your son doing?" "He is doing great, actually. He slept from the time I arrived home yesterday night and he still didn't wake up. The doctor said he had a lot of stamina for a baby, so I believe he won't need more time to sleep," Minato said, remembering about his child. "That's good to know, Minato." After quite some time talking about the changes on the academy, Sandaime left Minato in his office and Minato just went to his agenda, as well as eliminating the paperwork that was killing him. He didn't want to use the Kage Bunshin, since that was considered cheating and it wouldn't help him much. He needed to understand the missions, in order to send the best man for it. Sure, he wouldn't apply the new measures of picking teams, based on what he discussed with Sandaime, Instead, he considered selecting the ninjas based on mission historical and success. At the Namikaze compound. Meanwhile, Naruto woke up and he just had to tell everyone that he did it. He started crying and screaming, showing to Kushina that her work was just cut out for. Since her maternal instincts appeared, she was able to somehow know what Naruto was feeling, so she knew damn well what to do, when he was hungry, feeding him with maternal milk. Now, Naruto wasn't an ordinary child. His physical measures were off the scale for a baby. He was 53.5 centimeters tall and weighed 4.8 kilograms, not to mention that because of his stamina, Naruto could damn well suck Kushina dry and still be hungry. Seeing this, Kushina already had prepared spare bottles of milk so that her never-satisfying son could somehow manage to be satisfied. At seeing Naruto drinking non-stop, Kushina sighed, wondering if Minato was ever like this when he was a baby. After 2 bottles, Naruto stopped drinking, showing that he was full. After some burps on his account, Naruto went to sleep again, giving some temporary vacation for Kushina. She actually had quite a lot of stamina for a kunoichi, but Naruto was just too much for her. She was caught wondering what would be when he would be bigger, as if the stamina would naturally increase. Still, Kushina was smiling. She knew somehow that Naruto would have Minato's stamina, remembering that it took a while for Minato to be tired. Suddenly, Kushina sighed, hearing that Naruto somehow managed to wake up and started screaming again, this time, wanting something else. When Kushina saw it, she sighed, seeing what her son did, and she had to change his diaper. Yeah, Kushina was going to work like hell to raise the stamina-like baby in front of her. 4 years time skip. Naruto, now 4 years old, woke up from his bed, running to the kitchen, where his mother and his father would be taking today's breakfast. When he got there, he was greeted by their 2 fathers as well as a third person who appeared to be reading an orange book, while sipping a cup of coffee. "Good morning, Tusan, Ka-san, Kakashi, Nissen," said Naruto in a cheerful manner. "Good morning, Naruto," the 3 responded in unison. After that, Naruto sat on his chair and a well-served breakfast with some milk mixed with coffee and some bread. He finished it in less than 10 minutes and was already bouncing on the living room, going to the garden to enjoy the beautiful sunlight that was displaying in Konoha. Yeah, Naruto had a family who took care of him as well as play with him. He even made friends with the son of Hyuga Hizashi, Niji Hyuga. In fact, they've met about 3 weeks ago, when the Hokage asked Hiashi to watch Naruto for the day, since Minato and Kushina were to travel to the Fire Daimyo's house in order to establish some connections with the Earth Daimyo for trading, commerce, and merchants. During this time, a Kumo ninja infiltrated the Hyuga manor, wanting to kidnap the daughter of Hyuga Hiashi, and was going to succeed had Naruto not screamed the name intruder, as well as saying loud for the guards to show why are you kidnapping Hinata. After hearing this, the entire Hyuga's guard appeared and captured the Kumo ninja, therefore rescuing Hinata from the hand of the Kumo ninja. Suddenly, both Hiashi, Hizashi and Hizachi's son congratulated on saving the Hyuga heir as well as the Byakugan's secrets. That's when Naruto and Niji met, and since they are the same age, they became friends in an instant. Actually, the boys started sparring since then, so Naruto began his ninja training with his father, seeing that he made a rival out of Hyuga Niji. Right now, Naruto was doing his morning routine, running 10 laps around the compound, as well as making 100 push-ups. After that, he trained with a little wooden dummy, the taijutsu style that his father taught him. Even though Naruto was excitedly overjoyed, you could see him concentrating on hitting the enemy, rather than start punching and kicking the dummy without any coordination whatsoever. Minato had finished his breakfast, and came to see his son practicing taijutsu just like every day, since the Hyuga incident. He was just amazed at the display of commitment that Naruto displayed when he trained like that. It would be impossible at his age to start losing some baby fat, but if the person were to see closely, they could see little muscles forming and knuckles forming on his hand, enduring his punches much better. Kakashi, for his chance, was smiling at his nephew. He was already a legend at ANBU as commander of Squad No. 1, and he was considering a position at Konoha's Jounin. Seeing that being in Umbu showed some of Kakashi's deepest and most intense battles he fought, and he was becoming tired of doing A and S-ranked missions, mostly S-ranked missions, commonly regarded as being suicide missions. He would still apply for leaving Umbu, wait the Umbu's chief's dismissal as well as the approval of the Hokage. But seeing that he was late, he signed for his sensei the Yondaime, who just sighed and went back inside to put on some clothes and leave to go to the Hokage tower. Naruto-kun, I'm leaving. Okay, I have to go to work, keep practicing. Okay, next month we are going on some chakra knowledge and introduction in low-level jutsus. Okay, said Yondaime, earning a positive nod and a smile from Naruto. Minato always received that nod. He knew that Naruto was so focused at hitting the dummy, that he didn't bother to turn his head and say something to his father. When ready, Minato walked over to Kushina, giving her a soft kiss on the left cheek, saying goodbye to work. Minato and Sarutobi would finish the last details of the new academy teaching and it would hopefully be applied around next year, since this year's class already started and it wouldn't do any good to just change the course in the middle of the year. After he left, Kushina decided to see her son as he was still looking at the dummy, panting a little bit. Sure, he had a lot of stamina, but he is only 4. In order to prevent Naruto from falling on the ground exhausted, Kushina did the only thing that she knew could take Naruto away from his training. 2 weeks ago, Kushina entered Naruto in a Shugi quick course in order for Naruto to train his mind a little bit and forget about the physical torture, words put by Kushina to Minato one time. Naruto actually enjoyed the game, and he enjoyed passing time with his mother a lot. After they played a few matches as Naruto lost them all, showing some sort of irritation towards the fact that her mother beat the crap out of him. But for a 4-year-old, Kushina recognized that Naruto in a few time win the game if he grow consistent manner just like he has been showing until now. Today, Naruto wanted to play with his friend Niji for a while, so Kushina took him to the Hyuga compound, so that she could visit her neighbor and wife of Hyuga Hizashi, Hyuga Tenko. They became friends mainly because of Naruto and Niji, but they found in each other a friend that they could bribe about their son's development as well as curse some of their husband's antics. After some time and a quick spar between Naruto and Niji, with Niji winning by very little, Naruto and Kunisha thanked everyone for their stay and went to the Nara residence. Kushina wanted to introduce Naruto to Nara Shikamaru, son of Nara Shikaku, since not only Kushina's friends with Shikaku's wife, called Nara Yoshino. Upon walking on the streets towards the Nara manor, Naruto realized that they were going to a whole different place. "Ka-san, where are we going?" asked Naruto in a polite manner. Naruto-kun, I'm taking you to meet Nara Yoshino's son Nara Shikamaru. He is the same age as Hinata, but I can see that you're going to be very fond of each other. The Naras trained their child in strategy since they were 1 year old, so Shikamaru likes to play Shugi a lot. Wait, you're finding a partner that I can beat in Shugi? Asked Naruto, wondering if his mother was done playing with him. No, Naruto-kun, I'm just introducing you to him. Also is the fact that I wanted to talk to Yoshino a little bit, since we haven't talked to each other in ages. You can meet her son, he's quite smart for a 2-year-old. When they reached the house, Nara Yoshino, wife of Nara Shikaku, greeted them good morning and motioned them to enter the compound. Inside, Naruto met Shikamaru, while Kushina and Yoshino started the old "my stupid husband" talk, much to the dismay of Naruto and Shikamaru, who ended hearing part of their mother's conversation. After a little talking, Naruto actually enjoyed Shikamaru's presence. They made a new friend even if Naruto was 2 years older than him. Naruto also cursed the laziness of his new friend who only wanted to lie down, while recusing every game Naruto offered by muttering the word troublesome. After a few hours, Naruto and Kushina left the Nara residente, after Naruto insisted to his mother to leave so not to become lazy. Needless to say, both women were on the ground laughing their hearts out, after hearing Naruto saying the same thing his father said to Shikaku when they first met. Now, Naruto and Kushina entered the library so Kushina could buy a new book for her to read, while Naruto was looking around. Noticing that the library was divided in shinobi and non-shinobi literature, he of course went straight to the shinobi section. To say that Naruto was surprised, it would be an understatement. He was literally drooling at the books. Oh my god, there is so much I could see here to learn. What to pick? Let's see. Intro to Chakra Molding, Hand Science and their importance, Jutsu Making. I think I'll pick these ones. At the end of the library, Kurinai was doing the same as Naruto, but since she was much more advanced than he was, she was at the Genjutsu section, picking 2 books about how to learn and how to practice Genjutsus, when she saw a little blonde there looking at the introduction books, and she could see that he was astonished with what he was reading. How old is he? He appears to be around 5 and he is already interested in reading books. If only Yugago were like us, right, little Gaki? She was awake from her thoughts, when a beautiful woman with long brown hair appeared behind the infant and smiled at him. Must be his mother. You want to buy those, Naruto-kun? Said Kushina with a smile on her face, seeing if Naruto would follow the same steps as his father, remembering that her husband was a genius shinobi when growing up. Can I please, Ka-san? I really like them, please? Screamed Naruto, using the puppy eye jutsu to his mother, much to Kushina's delight. At least I don't have to worry about his studies. Of course you can, Naruto-kun. Let's go pay for this, shall we? After leaving the store, Naruto and Kushina returned to the Namikaze compound, with Kushina showing a ear-to-ear smile on her face, seeing Naruto reading the book the whole way home. The first one that he was reading was Chakra Molding, since his father would teach it to him in a month, and he wanted to show his father what he will learn from the book. Upon arrival, Naruto and Kushina settled down and Naruto asked for a quick lunch while he was reading the Chakra Molding book. Ka-san, can I have a sandwich while I read this book? Said Naruto, never taking his eyes off the book. Of course, Naruto-kun, I'll make one for you, but don't get too close to the book, your eyes can hurt a little bit. Okay, Ka-san, it's just that this book explains how to mold chakra, as well as explains some chakra control exercise at the end of it. I can't wait to read it, said Naruto. Chakra control, huh? Tell you what about you read a little and then we can discuss the book, said Kushina, handing Naruto a sandwich. Sure thing, Ka-san, thanks a lot. After that, Naruto just sat on the lunch table and started reading for about 3 hours, when Minato entered the room. He was about to say hi to his son when Kushina waved him off, saying that Naruto was studying. Needless to say that Minato was indeed surprised to see a 4-year-old studying about chakra molding, but he was slightly scared about it, since Naruto was only 4 and he should be outside playing, enjoying his childhood a little. Remembering the past, Minato wasn't worried about his son. The kid played a lot with Niji and Shikamaru, from what Kushina told him. Add to the fact that Naruto considers practicing taijutsu and learning what it takes to be a shinobi like playing and enjoying life. At the academy. Today's class ended early, since all the class had to do was practice some low-level jutsus, and then deliver a report about one of the Hokages. Seeing that the class had some free time, Yugigo and Kurenai rushed to the dango place so to grab something to eat. Kurenai was carrying her books along with her, so that she could study some more at home, much to the displeasure of the purple-haired genin wannabe. Kurenai-chan, why didn't you leave those books at the academy? Why do you study so much? I like to study, plus I've been interested to learn about genjutsu and the art of deception. I think it's really cool, said Kurenai with a proud face. Whatever, kenjutsu is so much better than genjutsu, plus genjutsu relies on the mind, while kenjutsu does more damage, said Yugigo, trying to win the argument. If the enemy's mind is damaged, how can he fight anyone? He would be rendered useless. Whatever, Kurenai-chan. You know, I happened to see a blonde kid buying some books at the library. You should be more like him, Yugigo. I'm sure that there is tons of books about kenjutsu. Blonde kid, what does he looks like? Said Yugigo, remembering about Enko's description of the yandame's son. He appears to be 4 to 5 years old, golden hair, deep cerulean blue eyes. Oh, and his mother was very beautiful. Yes, she has this long brown hair. Well, I think she was his mother, since he called her that, but I was impressed with him. Nonetheless, he bought on Chakra Introduction and some other books. Kurenai-chan, isn't that boy's name Naruto? Asked Yugigo, just waiting for the confirmation. Now that you said it, his mother did call him Naruto-kun, but why do you ask? Baka, Naruto is the yandame's son, said Yugigo, cursing her friend's density and the same time wondering about Kurenai's news on Naruto. She already heard from Enko that the boy trained very hard every day on his stamina as well as taijutsu. Also, Enko told her that he almost broke a wooden dummy after some consecutive hit on the dummy's chest. She was impressed nonetheless with the little gaki's determination, since he was only 4 years old and was already interested in becoming a shinobi. What? He is the yandame's son? Exploded Kurenai, now wondering about his face and the fact that he did resemble their leader's attributes. Now that you said, he did resemble Yandame-sama, he is an interesting kid. When I was his age all I wanted was to play around. Yes he is, Kurenai-chan, you do remember what Enko said that day about his taijutsu, didn't you? Said Yugigo, trying to picture a little boy hit a wooden dummy with such force. Yes, I remember. Actually, I don't believe that a 4-year-old could almost break a wooden dummy, answered Kurenai. Why would Enko-chan lie about that? She doesn't know him, she haven't even met him. Point taken. For quite a while the two remained talking, and after lunch, then both of them went separate ways. But both of them were thinking about the 4-year blonde and what they did when they were his age. When I was his age, all I did was play with dolls and help my mother at the garden, Kurenai. Only 4 and he's already training to be a ninja. Hell, at that age, all I ever cared about was to play, eat and sleep, Yugigo. At the Namikaze compound. After reading the book for a while, Naruto was with Kushina, discussing the things that Naruto learned from the book. Needless to say that Naruto was fired up wanting to learn everything that is to know about being a shinobi and be one of the best shinobis ever, just like his mother and his father. 1 month later. Naruto was doing his morning routine as well as enhancing his taijutsu, up to the time that his blows were delivering heavy damage on the wooden dummy. Suddenly her father came outside the clearing and saw his son almost breaking his first wooden dummy and went close to him. Today would be Naruto's chakra molding training, but Minato was already assuming that his son already knew at least how to mold chakra because of the book. Naruto-kun, today we'll begin chakra molding exercises, said Minato, showing his authority as sensei with a focused and determined look to Naruto. Okay, Sensei, said Naruto, trying to mimic the determined eyes of his father. So, since you already heard the theory behind the chakra molding from the book, let's move to the actual thing. Okay, now watch Naruto. I'm gonna show one of the hand signs and you're going to mold chakra to the fullest, so I can have a grasp at your chakra reserves. Now this is the ram seal, see it? Great, now mold as high as you can. Okay, here I come. Upon moving his hands to form the ram seal, Naruto began molding chakra to the fullest. He was molding chakra now for 2 minutes and his father was smirking, seeing that he only could go up to 4 minutes at the age of 6. Another 2 minutes and Naruto continued to mold chakra, much to his father's utter surprise since Naruto was continuing. Another 3 minutes and Naruto was starting to feel dizzy from slight chakra exhaustion, so he stopped molding and looked to see his father's jaw open wide. Needless to say, Minato was astonished to see his son with 4 years old, molding chakra for 8 minutes, but he shrugged his thoughts when Naruto looked at him. So Naruto-kun, your chakra reserve is as big as your stamina, that's good, but since you have such chakra capacity, it would be more beneficial in the long run that you focus more on chakra control and less on expanding your chakra reserves. But never focus entirely on one of them, just a little more control than expanding it, got it? After a nod from Naruto, Minato began explaining the 12 hand seals necessary for molding chakra and the ones necessary to perform jutsus. Since Naruto was already reading his next book on hand seals, he already knew all the hand positions, but he still wasn't able to do all the signs in a sequence, so he took the time to just do hand seals without molding chakra until he did them without thinking. After Naruto learned the hand signs, Minato went to the first chakra control exercise that involved spinning a leaf on top of the forehead, with only chakra. With that, Minato left Naruto practicing and went to his office to start his work. At the Hokage's office. Inside the office, Sandaime and Minato were finishing the new teaching ritual that the academy will be doing. Right now, what left was to decide the duration of the academy. Both of them would consider the age of 5 suitable to start, but they didn't want to produce an army of Uchiha Itachi, who became Anbu captain by the age of 13. So they decided to establish the start of the academy at the age of 6, therefore a child can just be a child until they started at the academy. Plus Minato wouldn't have to worry about Naruto entering the academy next year and test his new program. Now thinking about Naruto, Minato was taken aback by the fact that his son could mold chakra up to 8 minutes at his age, but he was worried about Naruto's chakra control, since it would be harder for him to manage low-level jutsus that don't require much chakra to perform. The Sandaime took a look at his successor's puzzled face and began to ask. What troubles you, Minato-kun? It's about Naruto's chakra level. He managed to mold chakra up to 8 minutes, but I'm more concerned about the fact that it would be harder for him to perform low-level jutsus, said Minato, expressing his concerns. Wow, 8 minutes you say, that's impressive. But you're right, he would get his work cut out for him. However, as you say, the boy practices up to exhaustion, doesn't he? He'll be fine, he still has 2 years for the academy. I think by then his chakra control will be more than adequate to do E-ranked jutsus, said Sandaime, easing Minato's concern a little bit. I think you're right, Sandaime. My son is smart and determined, he'll be just fine. At the Namikaze compound. On the next day, Naruto woke up after sleeping just a few hours. He was in bed thinking about what his father said about chakra control and the fact that the leaf exercise was slowly improving, but not at a pace that Naruto wanted to. He was feeling close hand now what his father said to him about the difficulty of chakra control, so he thought it would be better to read the part of his book about chakra control so to see if he could learn some techniques that helped him for the leaf exercise. Quickly reading through the pages, he came across a meditation exercise that when practiced daily, would improve concentration and was great for learning chakra control. Okay, in order to meditate, the practitioner must sit in a comfortable position, close his eyes and concentrate. The place of meditation is necessary in order for the exercise to be effective, so outdoors would be perfect. When outside, close the eyes and concentrate on hearing sounds you wouldn't normally focus on, like the sound of water dripping, the sound of the wind blowing and the sound of nature, said Naruto, reading the book loudly. After reading, he got out and started to meditate, but before that he did his morning routine improving his stamina and punishing the wooden dummy. After that, he just sit on the grass and closed his eyes. Because of the energy of the taijutsu, Naruto was having trouble concentrating and closing his eyes, but because of his determination, he focused his mind on hearing the sounds that the book described. After 20 minutes, Naruto was having no luck since he couldn't hear those sounds, but with a clear mind, he managed to come up with a plan in order to hear the sounds. He began channeling chakra through his ears and was amazed at what he was listening. Apart from feeling the breeze at his face, he was able to hear it traveling in air. He was concentrating and felt really good for him. This exercise managed to calm his nerves and eased his mind to the task in hand. Okay, I learned how to meditate, but how can I learn chakra control from this? Meanwhile, Niji arrived at the Namikaze compound, reaching for his friend, who according to Kushina was at the garden training. Niji was quite fond of Naruto over the years. They sparred a lot and played together. Upon arriving the garden, Niji managed to see Naruto in the middle of the garden, just sitting there with his eyes closed. What the hell is he doing with his eyes closed? Wait a minute, Byakugan. Niji was considered the Hyuga prodigy, and he was able to use the family's Kekkei Genkai at the age of 4 already. What he saw Naruto doing, he couldn't figure out. Naruto was channeling chakra through his ears and his eyes were shut. Seeing this, he decided to go up to him and ask what he was doing. When he arrived, Naruto slowly opened his eyes and let the sunlight slowly enter his corneas, hurting a little bit, because of the sudden light and the presence of a certain person. What are you doing, Naruto? Niji started. Oh, Niji, I was meditating a little bit, said Naruto with one hand on the back of his head and smiling. Meditating, what for? You see, my father said that I have high chakra reserves and he said that my chakra control would be harder to manage. So, seeing I was having trouble with the leaf exercise, I read on a book that meditating helped improving concentration and focus. And as I was meditating, I started channeling chakra through my ears in a way as to hear sounds that you normally wouldn't hear. And since I managed to channel chakra through a part of my body, I think my chakra control improved a lot, said Naruto, explaining his reasons to Niji. Huh, only you to do that for chakra control. Hey, I was looking for some morning exercise, want to help me? Said Niji, smirking and getting in a taijutsu stance. Sure, but I believe that this time we'll see who is better, huh, Niji? Let's go. Suddenly, Niji charged at Naruto with a punch aiming Naruto's chest, but was dodged with ease by Naruto, by changing the direction of the punch with his arm as well as quickly swift to the side, turning with a wide kick to Niji's stomach. Seeing this, Niji continued the way he was heading for and rolled to the ground as to avoid the tackle. Seeing how Naruto was faring in battle, Niji tried to fight using his Kekkei Genkai like his father instructed a while ago, and then charged Naruto once again. Niji suddenly saw Naruto channeling chakra to his legs and was amazed when Naruto suddenly jumped away from the tackle and appeared on Niji's side, aiming a punch at Niji's face, which was avoided by the Hyuga with his arms. Wow, Niji, you managed to fight with the Byakugan, that's great, said Naruto, never taking his eyes off his opponent. Yeah, but tell me how you channeled chakra through your feet like that. Oh, I was testing something, since when I channeled chakra through my ear, my hearing was better. I figured that channeling chakra through my legs, I would jump higher and get away from your blow. I guess it worked, huh? Said Naruto, showing a grin that somehow grew on him, and it became his characteristic grin. I don't know if I should be impressed or not. For once you changed your strategy in the middle of the battle, but also you tried something you never knew it worked before. Hee, just laughed Naruto. For a little while, they sparred some more and Niji went home satisfied about the exercise and his rival's quick improvisation skills. For Naruto's part, he went back to his room and decided to rest a little bit, before playing a little bit. Actually, he was only 4 years old and already quite advanced in terms of abilities, but Naruto also played with some toys since he is still a child, no less no more. 2 hours later, Naruto went downstairs to have dinner with his family and managed to see Minato and Kushina in what could be described as a couple on a movie and sighed. Almost every day? He was caught wondering, while sitting on a chair and continued to stare at the couple having some time together. Even though this was not a very pleasant sight for him, not that he didn't like to see his parents together, but he didn't want to intrude their moment, so he went outside and looked at the full moon at the sky, shining with all intensity and illuminating almost everything. Now this was a sight that Naruto enjoyed as much as training. The moon always calmed him down, and the excessive energy in his body just seemed to vanish even if it is for a second. He was so caught on the sight that he didn't hear his mother calling him to get some dinner. After the third attempt, Kushina was getting worried about his son, since he didn't come like he was used to, so she went upstairs. Meanwhile, Minato went outside for a little while and just feel the night breeze wash away his worries. When he stepped outside, he saw his little one staring at the full moon smiling. She is beautiful, isn't she? Minato asked, sitting close to his son, scaring Naruto a little bit. Oh, Tusan, you're here? Yeah, it's very beautiful, especially on a day like this with no clouds to stop her from shining like the sun, said Naruto, almost hypnotized by the view on the moon. Then, father and son was looking at the moon at the same time, when Kushina came outside, screaming for her son's name, finding not only Naruto but Minato as well looking up. What are you two doing outside? Kushina said, amazed at the resemblance of Naruto and Minato with just the height and the clothes that were different. We're appreciating the full moon, Ka-san, sit with us, take a look for yourself, said Naruto. Okay, but it was all that Kushina said before she looked at the moon and understood what Naruto and Minato were so amazed at. It was really beautiful. Kushina was right now thinking two things. I never paid attention to the moon like that, it's so beautiful, but I would have never known that a 4-year stamina freak like Naruto could meditate as well as stare at the moon like this. Kushina then stopped looking at the moon and looked at her son. He was showing the most sincere smile she has ever seen him showing. It appeared that Naruto was in love with the full moon. Kushina looked at his son's eyes and became terrified for him. Those eyes, how can he show those eyes at his age? It's the eyes from someone passionate, someone thoughtful, someone relaxed, someone peaceful. Kushina was afraid of seeing her son at the moment. She felt like he was growing faster than ever before, and she was fearing that his childhood would end sooner than normally expected. I'd better talk to Minato about loosening up his training a little bit, so that he could at least be a kid for once. Okay, dinner is on the table, let's go you two, said Kushina getting up. Okay, let's go Naruto-kun, I'm hungry and I know you are as well, said Minato carrying his son inside on top of his shoulder, listening his son cheer for his father and smiled. After served, the Namakazes were eating when Naruto shoved the question that made Minato and Kushina drop their chopsticks on the floor and Minato choking the food. So, just what were you doing here in the kitchen, just a little while ago? Said Naruto, mentally laughing his ass off, seeing the looks that his parents were displaying. What are you talking about, Naruto-kun? Kushina tried to cover from their son. When I came downstairs, I saw you two just close to each other, hugging and stuff. It was before I went outside and saw the moon. Oh, that I was just hugging your mother, Naruto-kun, why are you asking? Said Minato, not wasting time trying to lie to his son. No reason, just curious, I guess, said Naruto, dismissing the subject. After a while, they finished dinner and Naruto tried to help his mom by taking the plates and handing to her. Kushina smiled at his son, saying that he didn't need to help, but he insisted and she smiled again. Such a gentleman. When Naruto finished everything, he went upstairs towards his room, while Kushina found the perfect time to talk to Minato. Minato-kun, can we talk about something? Sure thing, Kushina-chan, what is it? It's about Naruto-kun. I don't know, I think he is growing too fast. If he continue this way, he won't have a happy childhood and I'm afraid of that. Can't you loosen up a bit on his training or just let him play with his toys like a normal boy? I've never seen a boy just stare at the moon like he did. Minato-kun, I could see his eyes, it wasn't a kid, was something else, I don't know, said Kushina, showing her concerns to Minato, much to Minato's concern. Kushina-chan, I don't know if he's growing too fast like you said, I mean Shikaku's kid keeps looking at clouds all the time. As for his training, I'm not forcing anything, it's he who keeps wanting to train all the time. Don't worry, Kushina-kun, I saw his eyes as well that time and I can see that he's growing up, but that's unavoidable, the boy loves the full moon. This is good for him, to learn about passion and beautiful views. I know about Shikamaru from Yoshino. But Naruto, unlike Shikamaru, is a stamina freak. How can he meditate? How can he just stop and look at the moon, like he could stare at it all the time? He is 4, he can't be that evolved as to control his energy like that, he is just a kid, said Kushina, now more concerned than ever, knowing that her husband wasn't with her on this predicament. Don't worry, Kushina-chan, Naruto plays with Niji, little Hinata, even Shikamaru. And I still see him playing with toys as well as train. He is a bright child, he likes to do such things, then leave him be. I don't want to impose something on his life and I'm not saying that I won't be harsh on him if he does something bad, all I'm saying is that I'll let him do what he believes it's best for him, I'll guide him through it but he is the one who has to make the decisions for himself in the end, not me and you. Let's trust our boy, he'll do what is right for him, and we'll support him in a way that he feel confident about telling us something or asking us something. Also, Kushina-chan, it's my job to boss around the village and I'll have to boss him when he becomes shinobi, but right now I will leave him make his way, said Minato, reassuring his wife, who smiled at her man's speech. I'm sorry, Minato-kun, I'm just worried that's all in due time, right? Right. So, Minato-kun, are you gonna hug me again or not? We are not finished, you know? Said Kushina, with a devious look at her husband, asking him to follow to the bedroom. Needless to say that the Hokage was smiling the next day. 2 years past time skip. It has been 2 years and Yukigo was finishing her breakfast at her home along with her parents. Now Yukigo is already a genin, since she graduated the previous year and on her team was Yuhi Kurinai and Genma, a brunette guy with a bandana covering his head as well as a samban between his teeth. Yugugo was one of the top genins of her graduation class, and her team already performed close to 20 C-ranked missions, a number not common in a year career. The team's sensei Aoba pretty much lets his students carry on the mission and only intervene when needed. Instead, he focused on making the genins practice very hard, making them one of the top teams in pretty much everything. Yugugo is a close combat fighter, since learning her dad's kenjutsu style as well as learned only close to mid-range style jutsus. Genma is the strongest of the team in terms of ninjutsu, with the 2-element chakra, Katon/Raiten. He is the mid-range fighter of the team and backup for Yugugo since his taijutsu is average. And last but not least, Kurinai is the long-range fighter, using her genjutsu to assist the other two, rendering the enemy useless in battle. Yes, Team 2 is one of Konoha's proudest teams and certainly will bright in the future. Today, Team 2 would have a C-ranked mission. Well, it would be a D-ranked, but due to the importance to the one being protected. But Yugugo still didn't know what would be the mission, since her sensei told them to arrive at the Hokage Tower for instructions, and she was excited as hell, since she loved to test her skills against the enemies. After Yugugo left her house, she decided to sprint to the Hokage's tower by jumping through rooftops, until she arrived in front of the Hokage Tower, only to find Kurinai already there, much to her dismay. "Ohio, Kurinai-chan, you're here early. I thought I would be the first to arrive," said Yugugo. "Ohio, Yugugo-chan, since I live near here, I arrived early, so how are you?" "Fine, so any guess about our mission? Do we have to take out some bandits, maybe some low-level chunins that are harassing a village?" said Yugugo, already picturing she slicing her sword on the enemy winning the battle. "I hope not. I would rather a calm mission today. It seemed like every mission we were in involved fights and stuff. I would be glad if this one would be a calm one." "You're no fun, Kurei-chan. Oh well, I guess we have to wait until Aoba-sensei and Genma-san to arrive, won't we?" said Yugugo, sitting on a bench nearby. After 10 minutes, the rest of Team 2 arrived and they went up to the Hokage's office in order to receive their next mission. Inside the Hokage's office, Team 2 presenting for mission, Hokage-sama, saluted Aoba to Minato. "Oh, hello there, how are you all guys doing?" said Minato, proud of looking at one of the best genin teams in Konoha. "Fine, sir. I understand Hokage-sama has a mission for Team 2? "Yes, it will be a C-ranked mission. Normally would be a D-ranked one, but due to the importance of this mission I'm trusting upon your team, Aoba-san, it will be a C," said Minato. While Yugugo was fuming inside, she thought that the D-ranked ones would be over by now and be only C and low-level B ones, but she thought better than to charge at her once crush of a man, for judging his judgment. "Well, the mission will be to protect my son Namikaze Naruto, during the duration of a trip me and my wife would be doing along with the Hyuga delegates to Kumo, in order to improve our diplomatic relations with them, as well as maybe celebrate a deal for commerce between the villages, so Team 2 will be with my son at least during 1 week, that the travel would entail," said Minato, already seeing the wide eyes of the genins, especially the purple genin with the katana, since she was with her jaws down to her chest in utter surprise. "Okay, Hokage-sama, don't worry, your son will be safe from enemies. Team 2, we are to arrive at the Namikaze compound in 2 hours, dismissed," said Aoba to his team. "Hi, Aoba-sensei," said everyone of the team, and then left the office. "Aoba-san, I'm sure you understand the importance of this mission, don't you? I'm asking this because my son had already suffered his first kidnapping attempt 2 weeks ago," said Minato, much to Aoba's shock, since he didn't know that Naruto was kidnapped. "Hokage-sama, if you don't mind, I wish to hear about what happened so that my team can be better prepared for what to come." "Very well." Flashback on. The nightfall was already appearing and Minato was doing the last paperwork of the day, and went home. During the way back, Minato could sense 3 figures watching him close and stiffed. Who would be stupid to try to kill a Kage, unless they wanted to go to war? Minato thought about it, and decided to pay no mind as he was approaching the compound. Inside, the house was empty. Immediately, the yondaime became the yellow flash and began to inspect the house for what could happen, and his instincts were fuming like crazy. Upon approaching a couch, he saw that Kushina was on the ground, near a few glass pieces from a broken window that where the enemy broke in and attacked his wife. Minato was passing through all the possibilities inside his mind as to what happened here, when the thought of Naruto being the enemy's objective practically punched him in the face for not realizing this. Suddenly, Minato called for his student and confidant who happened to be inside the village doing some patrol around the streets via intercom. "Sensei, what happened here?" said the dog Mastambu. "Kakashi, my son was kidnapped. Quickly summon Paku and let's find him. We have to reach the enemies, hurry," said Minato, already panicking for his son's life. Right away, Kuchio's no jutsu, Summoning jutsu, said Kakashi, summoning a little puppy with a leaf headband. Kakashi, what do you want? Paku, Naruto-kun was kidnapped. We need to find the kidnappers, they must be close. After some sniffing around, Paku managed to get the scent from Naruto, since Minato gave Naruto's shirt for Paku. Suddenly, two blurs went outside the compound and they started to jump around the trees, in the direction that Paku was going. After traveling for 30 minutes, Kakashi and Minato managed to catch up with the intruders that were wearing IWA headbands and a Chunin uniform. Seeing that the IWA ninjas couldn't escape, they tried to fight the two Konoha ninjas. Only after 1 second did they realize their mistake, seeing that they would fight Konoha's Yellow Flash and Sharingan no Kakashi. With the use of the Hiraishin and a Kunai, Minato disposed of the enemies and saved his son. Damn IWA, how could they do this to my son? Said Minato, letting his emotions take over and send his characteristic killing intent that Kakashi thought his sensei would kill everyone in IWA for trying to kidnap his son. Kakashi, I'm worried about my son's welfare now that IWA knows about him. I know I promised Kushina to go slow with his training, but I'll have to train him harder so that he can at least protect himself the next time and be able to call for help. Also, I'm going to give him one of my Hiraishin kunais, so that he can call me when needed. Are you sure, sensei? Naruto is just 6 years old, he may call you to every little trouble he is. Are you sure he's only calling you in dangerous situations? Asked Kakashi, knowing what a regular 6-year-old boy could do. My son knows better than that, Kakashi. Besides, he pretty much trains by himself with his books and stuff. I think I'll start teaching him D-level jutsus, so that he can better protect himself. Let's head back, sensei. Kushina must be worried sick for Naruto, said Kakashi, awaking Minato from thinking about Naruto's new training. Let's go. Flashback off. After Minato finished telling the story, Aoba sighed and concluded why the mission is AC ranked. If IWA Chunin or higher came to try again, his team would be there protecting the little blonde Gaki. But Minato was also asking a favor to Aoba, in order to train his son while he was gone, having some spars with the genin teams and see where he stands on chakra control and jutsu. Needless to say, Aoba agreed to it. He figured the mission would be plain boring in case IWA didn't try anything, so he could take the time to train his team as well as see what Naruto could do. Don't worry, Hokage-sama, Team 2 will protect your son and will train him as well, don't you worry. I'm counting on your team, Aoba-san, thank you. Dismissed. Inside the Namikaze compound. Inside his house, Naruto was just reading a book on advanced chakra control. In fact, Naruto already had a little library inside his bedroom. He was lucky his parents bought him lots of books on shinobi and shinobi arts. He even bought one about strategy and tactics, and he was fascinated with what the book said about the many strategic victories Konoha had won during the 2 great shinobi wars. As regarding to his training, his morning training was enhanced by his father. Now he had 2 wooden dummies and all the exercise doubled in length, as well as a gravity seal on him, courtesy of his father's knowledge of Fuinjutsu. He already learned the Henji no Jutsu and the Kawarimi no Jutsu, and would be just a matter of time before he learned the Bunshin no Jutsu, because of his excess amount of chakra which was growing since his chakra coils were in expansion. For last, his chakra control increased as well. Because of his father saying that he needed to concentrate more on chakra control first, Naruto started doing the first chakra control exercises, and he already was able to spin the leaf on his forehead. Suddenly, he heard the door bell and stiffed a little bit, remembering that he was kidnapped once, and he didn't want to just open the door to the enemy, seeing that would be a very stupid thing to do. Upon arriving in front of the door, he asked who was it, and was relieved when he heard the voice of a jounin that would be watching for him until his parents arrived from their trip to Kumo. Upon opening the door, he saw a man with sunglasses and a jounin vest as well as a girl with purple hair and a katana strapped on the back, a boy with a bandana covering his hair and a sanban in between his teeth and a red-eyed girl that he somehow remember already seeing her somewhere. But he was caught off his wonderings when the jounin addressed to him. Hello Naruto-kun, my name is Aoba and I'm the sensei of Team 2 here. Here let me introduce you to the genins, Yuzuki Yugago, Genma and Yuhei Kurinai, said Aoba to the little boy, but Naruto remembered about the Henji no Jutsu and was a little worried about his enemies be disguised as Konoha shinobi. I'm sorry about not trusting you guys, but I can't help but think you could be IWA shinobis henged into Konoha shinobis. How can I be sure of that? Asked Naruto, earning the glares of surprise of Team 2. Needless to say that everyone of Team 2 was looking at Blonde with astonishment, since he was only 6 years old, and already trying to see the underneath of the underneath, a lesson only taught at the age of 11, at the academy when the students would be close to graduate and become genins. Seeing that the boy actually needed reassurance, Kurinai spoke to him about the time they met at the library about 2 years ago, and Naruto was relieved once again. Oh yeah, I knew I already saw you somewhere before. I'm sorry about the suspicion. Is that because what happened to me in the book I was reading about tactics and strategy got me thinking about what may appear it's not what it is in the end, so I became a little suspicious. But please come in, I'll introduce everyone to the rooms in the house, so you can get comfortable and I can guarantee to all of you that I won't be bothering you guys. Come in, said Naruto with a wide smile on his face and entering the house. When they entered the house, Yugugo was caught talking to Kurenai, since she was somewhat interested in what the blonde could do. She was surprised that he was suspicious by only looking at her team, showing a shinobi ability that many Chunin still didn't have, and she was impressed with him. Kurenai on the other side, was impressed as well, but with the book he said he was reading, she became interested about it on the spot and figured that he could have a lot of books for her to read throughout the week. But most of all, both of them was thinking about his age and the fact that he is growing faster than them combined. Meanwhile, Genma was impressed with Naruto. Genma was smiling a lot, figuring that he would try to fight him in a fight to see if the rumors of him being able to break the wooden dummy at the age of 4 was in fact true or not. When they got outside, Naruto showed his little training ground and Team 2 was once again impressed to say the least. In the middle of the garden, there was 2 wooden dummies and they could see one with a hole between the chest area. Upon seeing further, they saw some leaves on the grass and asked Naruto why they were piled like that, and Naruto said that he was doing multiple chakra control exercise by spinning more than one leaf at the same time, much to Yoba's surprise. Needless to say, Team 2 was very lucky to get picked to this mission. Not only Naruto was a good host, but he wasn't a pain in the ass in comparison to the other times they had to babysit. On top of that, Naruto displayed a sense of humbleness, much to the surprise of the Genins, who figured Naruto would be acting like the son of the Hokage, bossing around and saying that they should do what he said. Quite on the contrary, seeing that the Genin team would be training, he humbly asked if he could watch them train as well as participate if possible. Aoba already said that he would be training him as well, and Naruto was literally jumping with happiness, showing that he was eager to practice and train with Team 2. To say all of them was surprised, it was an understatement. Either of them thought that this mission would be so cool, as well as the fact that they could train a lot. After a little tour from Naruto, he told them to feel at home, and that he would be reading one of his books for a while. Kurenai, already seeing an opportunity to spend the week, asked if she could go with him to see his library and pick one to read, while Genma and Aoba would spar a little bit on the garden. Yugugo, for her instance, chose to practice some kenjutsu katas by herself for a little bit, since it was already getting dark, so they should all be inside the compound in case something happened. Meanwhile, inside Naruto's room, he and Kurenai was looking at Naruto's library with big smiles. Then, Naruto picked one on chakra control, while Kurenai picked the one of strategy and tactics. She learned from Naruto that his parents bought him lots of books for him to learn, and he was very thankful. Kurenai, for her instance, said Naruto was a very interested kid, seeing that his level of literature was very advanced for his age, and she didn't think twice about saying to him about it, resulting in a blushed Naruto and an amused Kurenai, thinking how cute the little blonde was, when he was embarrassed like that. A few hours later, everyone was having dinner together, eating what Naruto's mother left for them inside the freezer. They talked about all sorts of things. Well, actually Naruto was letting his curiosity all out, and started asking about the many missions that Team 2 accomplished together, as well as each of the team's abilities. Needless to say, Naruto's eyes would wide every time Yugugo and Genma described their fights, while Kurenai was misleading the enemy. Naruto wasn't too happy to know about the first missions, as Genins called the infamous deed by the new appointed Genins, seeing that they didn't involve any ninja skills or knowledge whatsoever. Seeing that the team would show Naruto the wrong idea about the D-ranked missions, Aoba decided to intervene, saying that these missions existed in order to improve teamwork among the Genins and that Konoha was well known throughout the shinobi land, because of the three-man cell like the legendary Sannin and the Ino Shikacho trio. Later, everyone went to sleep and Aoba decided to take the room closer to Naruto's, since he would hear better and see if the enemy would try to appear. On the next day, Naruto was the first to wake up and start doing his routine exercises. He learned from his father the theory behind the gravity seal, and now he knows that in order for the seal to activate, one have to channel chakra through it, and the contrary for deactivating. Upon activated, Naruto felt his weight increase and felt his knees bend a little bit in order to get used to the extra weight. He only used it to train alone, but when he was sparring with Niji, he needed all the strength and speed he could get, because the Hyuga prodigy was always all out when they practiced. Once completed 30 laps around the compound with the seal on, he started practicing some advanced taijutsu moves on the dummy still with the gravity seal on. According to Naruto, this exercise was invigorating, and even though at the end of the training, he was sweating like a pig, he felt like he had no care in the world, just exhaust himself to the fullest. Upon entering the compound, so to have some breakfast, he saw that Aoba, Yugugo, Kurenai and Genma were getting up, and all of them looked at the sweating blonde, wondering just how stamina this boy has. Out of them, Aoba was generally the first to wake up, and all of them thought that their sensei didn't sleep at all, But seeing Naruto, Team 2 believed that the boy was actually a stamina freak, just like his mother called Naruto once to Minato, upon seeing a 4-year-old training himself to exhaustion and then continue after a 30-minute break. Now, another thing that only Kurinai and Yugogo saw was that Naruto was pretty buff for a 6-year-old kid. They had to focus very hard in order to see a little baby fat around the kid's body. "Oh man, that's good workout, I can tell you, it's invigorating," said Naruto, panting a little bit and showing a big smile, letting them know that training to him is like playing with toys or doing stuff kids should be doing at that age. "Wow, Naruto, your father told me you worked pretty hard, but I never thought you would be this hard as to wear a gravity seal on you while training. Tell me, what do you do for, as you say, morning routine?" asked Aoba, seeing the fiery spirit and determination on the Hokage's son. "I start with 30 laps around the compound, following with 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, then 2 hours practicing taijutsu on the 2 training dummies as a way of fighting against 2 opponents. Oh, and all this with the gravity seal, which by the way increased my body weight up to 20, explained Naruto, only beginning his day. "After that, I take breakfast and I read a book on chakra control, introduction to jutsus and strategy and tactics. I also play shugi with my Ka-san and I practice jutsu and chakra control all afternoon." While Naruto was explaining his training, Team 2's eyes were wide and their jaws were down to their chest. Needless to say, they were impressed on the blonde's determination to be as strong as his father. Ginma was more than eager to fight Naruto and see how well he fare in a fight, while Aoba was having daydreams of the perfect student in front of them. Kurinai decided to enhance her learning on genjutsus as well as creating new genjutsus that her creative mind was coming with, much to Naruto's joy. Naruto once thought about the concept of jutsus and was curious as to how they were created to begin with, so he wanted to be able to create jutsus, just like his father did with the Rasengan and the Hiraishin. After Naruto's break, Aoba decided to train Ginma, Yugogo and his new apprentice for the week, Naruto. But first, he needed to see what Naruto's level was, so he called Ginma for a spar match to see their level in taijutsu and in ninjutsu. To say that Naruto was happy it would be an understatement. He was smiling from ear to ear, from the thought of sparring against a genin. First, Ginma thought he could go light with the blonde, seeing that he was 8 years younger than him, so he wouldn't go all out on this fight. Little did he know that Naruto already turned the gravity seal off and his speed had doubled since the first time he activated the gravity seal. When Aoba showed the authorization to start the fight, Ginma charged Naruto to test his defenses. Ginma started with some mid-level punches straight to Naruto's areas that would affect the opponent the most, like the spleen, the lungs, the face and side stomach. Since Naruto could see the speed of the attacks, he managed to defend himself, while attacking as well with his knees and feet on Ginma's stomach and side stomach. Meanwhile, Yugogo and Aoba was seeing the spar with a smile. The boy had good moves and was faring well against Ginma, even though he wasn't going all out. But Naruto, somehow, was faster now than before the last time he thought Niji, and he assumed that was because of the gravity seal, so he asked Ginma to put up a notch a little bit, demonstrating guts towards a much older opponent. Hearing this, Ginma decided to add ninjutsu to the fight, making some hand seals and exhaling a fireball with less power so to scare the boy a little. Naruto, seeing this, did one of the only jutsus he knew, and exchanged himself with a log that was stationed near them, vanishing from sight. Ginma saw the Kawarimi and congratulated Naruto on the fast thinking. "Okay, Naruto, that's enough, good job on the Kawarimi. I can see that you're going to be a great shinobi once you grow up," said Aoba with pride, seeing the nod of Yugogo and Ginma at the blonde. "So, Naruto, we're going to train on your chakra control during this week as well as teach you some jutsus. Now I understand that you already mastered the Kawarimi no Jutsu, as well as the Henji no Jutsu, am I right?" After a nod from Naruto, Aoba continued. "Okay, then, the Bunshin no Jutsu would be logical sequence, then I'm going to teach you a D-rank jutsu which is very common amongst jounin and umbus. It's called Shunshin no Jutsu. With it you can instantly vanish from where you were and appear on a different place within seconds. The farther you go the more chakra you need to do it. But it will be a very handy technique in case it happens again, won't it?" "Would I have enough skills for this jutsu? I mean, from what I read, this jutsu is pretty hard to do," said Naruto, not having enough confidence in his abilities. "The jutsu is easy to perform, it's just that the jutsu demands more chakra, so normally genins and low-level chunins could not do it since it takes a good load of chakra. But since your chakra amount is very high, I believe you can do it without much effort on your body. But first, I'm going to teach you a very advanced chakra control exercise. Now remember, Naruto, I don't want you to complete this exercise during this week, okay? This exercise is very hard to learn and will increase your chakra control exponentially. It's called tree climbing." "How is it that climbing trees would improve my chakra control?" said Naruto, remembering reading something about it on his book. "By channeling chakra through your feet, you can stick your feet and just go up the tree, like you're just walking. Look, I'll show you," said Aoba, as he was going up and down a tree nearby, while explaining how to channel the chakra properly. Man, that's so cool. Aoba-sensei, how long did Genma-san and Yugogo-san took to learn this exercise? Said Naruto, pointing to the ones he mentioned that were having some light spar. Out of the 3 genins in Team 2, Kurinai was the first with the exercise, completing in 2 days since her chakra control was better than the rest. Yugogo was second, finishing the exercise in 3 days and a half, and Genma was last, finishing in 4 days. But not only they are 8 years ahead of you, but they are also genins and their chakra control is way better than you, even if yours is already amazing for a person your age. But then again, I don't want you to complete this week. Instead, I'll give you a deadline of 1 month to learn. The reason for so long is for you to focus on the E-ranked jutsus as well as the Shunshin, and another reason is for you to fully grasp the concept of a better chakra control, by constantly and steadily improving yourself, and I assure you that by the end of the month, you will be able to finish without even thinking about it. Now let's see how you fare on your first try. Upon hearing the authorization, Naruto tried focusing chakra on his feet and ran towards the tree, being able to stick to it, and making 2 steps before he was blown off from high usage of chakra. When he looked at his sensei, Aoba was scratching his head asking for apologies, since he forgot to explain that if the ninja used too much chakra, well, that happened, and if it was too little chakra, his feet wouldn't stick, making him fall in the process. Needless to say, Naruto was slightly annoyed about being blown up, because of his sensei's lack of information about the exercise. Man, that hurt. Oh, Aoba-sensei, a little more advice would be nice, over here? Shouted Naruto at his teacher. Sorry, Naruto-kun. But even though you know how to do it, does not mean that you will stop falling on your butt like that. Once you'll be able to stick your feet and go up a few times, then you'll stop falling like that. If you don't want to fall again like that, try training evasion techniques. When you feel that you are about to fall, just use the tree for impulse and balance to land on your feet, explained Aoba, earning a little grin from Naruto's face. Well, at least Naruto was sure he could not fall on her butt anymore, since evasion techniques was very used as a defense from Naruto's taijutsu. The day went by and Naruto had only improved up to 4 steps before he had to do the evasion technique and landed tired from trying. Aoba, upon seeing this, told Naruto to stop for the day and focus on mastering the Bunshin no Jutsu. Because of Naruto's abnormal chakra capacity and difficulty to use the little chakra needed for the jutsu. When he performed the jutsu, the clone appeared lying on the floor all dead and without consistency. When Aoba asked him to do it again, the same result happened. Upon seeing this, Aoba sighed and crossed his head. He has never seen anything like this. He actually tried to think of something to help the young prodigy, but he couldn't think of anything. He was already admitting defeat, and therefore saying that Naruto's chakra control need to improve first, when all of a sudden Yugogo decided to help. Aoba-sensei, what about the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu, said Yugogo, smiling to the blonde and seeing that Aoba was dumbfounded for the fact that one of his genins just mentioned a B-ranked kinjutsu that happened to be sealed inside the Forbidden Scroll. Yugogo, how do you know the Kage Bunshin? It's supposed to be a forbidden technique. Turned Aoba, actually thinking about his genin's idea for Naruto. My dad mentioned once to me, but he said that it consumes lots of chakra, but Naruto-kun may be able to do it. And this technique was sealed inside the Forbidden Scroll just because of the chakra consumption, not because it's dangerous, Yugogo explained and smiled upon seeing the big smile and eagerness that Naruto was displaying once he heard it from the purple-head genin. Wow, thank you Yugogo-san. Aoba-sensei, please let me try once. If it really consumes my chakra like you say it does, then I'll never do it again, until I complete the tree training exercise. Negotiated Naruto. Okay Naruto, I'll teach you, but you'll have to focus on your chakra control even though you can make the Kage Bunshin, got it? Chakra control, it's a good ally in battles, but it's also the worst enemy, if you don't learn how to control it, and waste a lot of chakra in the process. Okay, now the Kage Bunshin is the same principle as the Bunshin, but there are 2 differences. First is that you have to use much more chakra, and second is that you don't have to focus on an image of yourself, but rather focus on your entire body, since a Kage Bunshin has everything you has, from organs to chakra coils. The technique only needs the seal that I'm showing you with my hands. Now try it. Naruto then focused the way he focused on the Bunshin, but now without feeling the need to contain a little bit. He did the necessary seal and screamed Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu. What appeared after the cloud of smoke, much to the utter surprise of everyone counting Aoba, Kurinai, Genma and Yugogo, 4 Kage Bunshins appeared and started a little chorus, singing I did it multiple times. Not only Naruto managed a B-ranked jutsu, but he also was jumping in a crazy way, as if he still had tons of energy to stand, jump and do stuff. Needless to say that Naruto managed to do the technique, without suffering strain on his body. Aoba was the first one who managed to speak. Okay, Naruto, keep it down please, my ears are killing me. Now, since you managed to do this technique, you already have a clone technique at your arsenal. Let's rest for today. Ginma, let's see first if you manage the Katan Hausenka no Jutsu, Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu, and the Katan Gyaku no Jutsu, Fire Style, Grand Fireball Jutsu. Hi Aoba-sensei, screamed Ginma as he was doing the hand seals needed for the Gakkaku no Jutsu, and spilled the huge fireball of his mouth up to the air. Good job, now the next one, instructed Aoba. Katan Hausenka no Jutsu, screamed Ginma again, as he did the necessary hand seals, spilling small fireballs in different directions. Good work, Ginma-san. Now let's head inside the compound for dinner. Just as Aoba was about to touch the door, something was amiss. For instance, the door was in front of him, but his hands passed straight by, giving the impression of an illusion. Seeing that, Aoba remembered about the snicker member of his team who was falling in love with Genjutsu. Kai, said Aoba, dispelling the Genjutsu Kurinai casted on the door, as well as looking at the face of the female illusionist in front of him, smirking as she mastered yet a new Genjutsu technique. See, sensei, I mastered the Kokohi no Jutsu, illusion technique, false surroundings, said Kurinai, smiling like crazy. So I saw. Good job, Kurinai. Now let's head inside. I guess everyone is hungry, especially Naruto, said Aoba, hearing Naruto's stomach manifesting and Naruto putting his hand behind his head in embarrassment, making Team 2 take a little rise out of the blonde. Sorry about that, I guess the Kage Bunshin just quadruplicated my hunger. Now, my mom will be worried. She usually sighs seeing what I eat by myself. Imagine 4 times, I bet she would crumble to the floor, said Naruto, scratching his head. Don't worry about that, Naruto-kun. I bet your Ka-san would be worried at first, but seeing that you are the Yandame's son and a stamina freak, she will just add 2 and 2 together, said Aoba, grinning a bit. After some time, they all went to sleep. 2 hours later, a blonde was seen on the compound's main living room, just staring outside at his preferred sight of his life. The full moon. No matter what trouble Naruto was in, the full moon always managed to calm him enough as to clear his mind off of things. Since the day of the kidnapping occurred until his dad came to the rescue along with his surrogate brother, Naruto was through a lot of thoughts. Why they wanted me? My father explained that because he was the key in Konoha's victory at the last Shinobi Great War against IWA. But still, why are they after me? All these thoughts were passing by Naruto every day. The moon's light was so beautiful and he couldn't help but stare at it with wide eyes. Since the first time he turned to watch it, he became hypnotized at the sight. It was spectacular. The light managed to bright a good portion of Konoha and bring peace as much as the sun did. To Naruto, this was a sight to be behold. Actually, every day that the moon is like this, Naruto just couldn't sleep and get past such beautiful sight. He remembered his father comparing him to wolves, since like them Naruto became hypnotized by it. Meanwhile, Yugugo was struggling on her bead. She just couldn't sleep at all. Seeing Naruto so advanced at such an early age, triggered a sense of competition with the boy. Funny, a 14-year-old kunoichi competing with a 6-year-old genin wannabe. But she did. It was the second day of the mission, slowly turning the third day, and she could see Naruto managing a technique that she tried at first when her father taught her, only to fail miserably, because of the fact that her chakra reserve weren't as big as Naruto or any Chunin/Jounin for that matter. After some struggle, she sighed and went out of bed. As she put some clothes, she went downstairs to see if she could grab a glass of water or some milk to help her sleep. Upon reaching the kitchen, she noticed the moonlight bright the living room and was surprised to see her competition just staring at the full moon. Who the hell is this kid? Why can't he act like he's supposed to act? Like a child? Play toys or something? He trains himself to exhaustion all the time. He looks at the full moon instead of sleeping. Who are you, Namake's Naruto? While she was caught in wonders, Naruto heard a noise coming from the kitchen and turned to see Yugugo looking at him lost in thoughts. Seeing this, he couldn't help but sigh, remembering she had the same look as his mother had when she first saw him staring at it. You know, Yugugo-san, you have the same look as my Ka-san had when she first saw me staring at the full moon like I was doing before you came in, said Naruto as he watched Yugugo come back for her wonderings, and he gave a genuine smile at her. Sorry Naruto-kun, I was just caught in wonderings about something. Why aren't you sleeping? You'll need to restore your energy for tomorrow's training, asked Yugugo, right now looking at his eyes and once again flabbergasted. His eyes were different than the ones she was familiarized with. This set was different from the ones she saw on the Yandame's eyes and Naruto's eyes before. This one were brighter than the old ones. It was even more beautiful than before. Brighter than ever. Sorry for waking you, Yugugo-san, but every full moon I come here to watch it. It's the best sight ever and I can't stop looking at it. My father once compared me to wolves, since out of the animals, wolves are the ones who enjoy the full moon. Every time I look at it, I forget everything that's bad in my life and I can't help but feel secure when looking at it, said Naruto, not once taking his eyes off the full moon. It's okay, Naruto-kun, I was the one that couldn't sleep anyway. Naruto-kun, I can't help but feel threatened about you, said Yugogo, thinking of the right words to describe the reason of her being out of bed. Threatened? Did I do something to you, Yugogo-san? I don't recall hurting you, and if I somehow did, I'm very sorry about it, said Naruto, now worried, taking his eyes off the moon and looking at the purple-haired genin with worry. What? No, it's not that, Naruto-kun, it's just that you're just 6 years old, and you're so much ahead for your age, that I couldn't help but want to compete with you. Idiot, stupid. Yugogo was hitting her head inside. She didn't want to put it this way to a 6-year-old infant. She didn't want it for him to think she was insane. A rivalry with me, Yugogo-san? But you're much stronger than I am. I watched your kenjutsu and believe me, I don't want to get hit by such strikes, said Naruto. Thank you, Naruto-kun, but if you was 6-year-old, were able to do a technique that I couldn't do with 14, that means you are pretty strong yourself. I'm sorry, but I can't help but want to compete with you. You're the first one that I thought about measuring my ninja abilities with. Rivalry is very good for ninjas to grow stronger and better, Yugogo-san, but what about Genma-san? He is pretty capable, said Naruto, trying to calm Yugogo, but to no avail, since he saw her nod her head in a negative manner. Genma is very strong and a capable ninja as well, but he is my age. The Katon Jutsus that you saw him doing was his first high-level ninjutsus. You managed a B-rank ninjutsu with just 6 years old. Please don't take me the wrong way, Naruto-kun, but I want to be considered your rival, if it's okay with you, said Yugogo. Do you really want this, Yugogo-san? I mean, I would be glad to be your rival, but are you really sure you want to? Asked Naruto. Yes, I do. In fact, we can train together. Why do you say, Naruto-kun, with my kenjutsu/ninjutsu against your taijutsu/ninjutsu, it would be beneficial for both of us. I would get stronger, and you would get faster. Let's try at least for this week, why do you say? Yugogo said, almost sounding like begging for training from a 6-year-old boy. Okay, Yugogo-san, said Naruto, giving up trying to understand why the hell does she want to train with a 6-year-old boy. On the third day, Naruto went out of bed and dressed up his training gear. He thought about Yugogo's moves and he was dead frightened. But on the other side, he was eager to start. The only rival he had was Neji, and even though Neji is very strong, Naruto didn't want to be proficient against the Byakugan. So, he increased his routine as well as pumped a little more chakra through the gravity seal, increasing his body weight as well. After some running around and some exercises, Naruto was more tired than before. When he started his taijutsu exercises, he felt the weight get in the way a little bit, but because of Yugogo's challenge, he began hurting the wooden dolls like never before for a good 30 minutes, until it was time for breakfast. Upon arrival, surprisingly, a purple-haired genin was the first one to wake up, well, second since Naruto was the first. When the rivals saw each other, a little spark could be felt in the air, showing that their little spar would be happening soon. After a quick breakfast from Naruto and Yugogo, they went to the training area and got into their respective fight positions. Instantly, Naruto made 3 Kage Bunshins and started attacking Yugogo, who took off her katana and managed to dodge the joint attack of one of the clones and strike the second one, taking him out and vanish in a puff of smoke. Seeing Yugogo's speed, Naruto had to took his weights off. Doing that, he started feeling weird. He was lighter than ever and he could very well see her movements as she was taking care of the last clone. But what happened next pretty much scared him the most. Right after the clone vanished, images of Yugogo and clone's fight appeared in his mind like he was fighting Yugogo. Naruto never was able to wonder about what happened, as he saw his opponent closing on him, placing her sword in a way as to slash through him with a diagonal movement. He was caught off his thoughts and got out of the way of the slash just as it was coming, surprising Yugogo. Since they were close, Naruto started attacking Yugogo with the same mercy as he had with the wooden dolls. Yugogo, as she was trying to block Naruto's punches with the sword's holder, was excited as hell. Naruto was fighting well against her. Yes, I knew he would be strong, I knew it. Come on, Naruto-kun, let's continue this fight. Aoba was the first to arrive to the scene and was surprised to see Naruto and Yugogo equally trading blows. Naruto was punching hard and Yugogo defended with her holster. Yugogo was slicing her sword and Naruto was dodging and evading. It was beautiful to watch those two. Then he was able to see Naruto doing seals faster than before, just as Yugogo was about to hurt him, cutting a log instead. Yugogo saw the log cut in half and smiled frantically. Naruto was the first fight she ever had and he would be even better with time, as will she. When she turned to see Naruto a few meters behind, she grinned and bowed to him. I was right about you, Naruto-kun. You are strong, better than I took you to be. We have to do this again. I was able to train close-range kenjutsu with you and your speed increased as well. Just like I told you, Yugogo said, feeling better about herself by the minute. You're right, Yugogo-san. This was much fun. I really enjoyed it. This fight showed me just how much I need to train harder. Even though something tells me you're much stronger than that, said Naruto. Just a little bit more, actually. But with the pace that you are growing, you'll surpass me in no time, my rival, said Yugogo, feeling proud of herself, since she discovered what her dad said to her a while ago. Flashback on. Yugogo and her father were training in kenjutsu and evasion techniques. Well, more like Minato was beating the shit out of Yugogo, but it was with a wooden sword, still hurt as hell. Shit, why can't I hit you too, San? You're too fast. Yugogo-chan, don't be silly, I have 10 times more experience than you, plus I know all there is to know about our style, while you only learned a few katas. Trust your father on this, Yugogo-chan, it'll be a while before you can hit me. But I don't expect you to beat your old man, at least not right now, said Minato with a smile. I know that too, San, but you're the only one I can test my abilities with. The academy didn't bring me a challenge and the fellow genins do not have the skills necessary. I have only you to measure my level, said Yugogo, looking down in shame. Yugogo-chan, if you really want to test your skills, you have to find someone who can measure up to your abilities. You find yourself a rival, said Minato, remembering of a certain Umbu captain. In fact, Yugogo-chan, you don't have to be the same age. Let me tell you a story of a child prodigy that I had the privilege to know back in Umbu duty. His name is Hatake Kakashi, a genius. He was your age when he became a jounin, and a year after that, he joined Umbu. Back then, I was best fighter in Umbu, and I was just as you are now, in search of someone to whom I could test my skills with. Since Kakashi's record was practically common knowledge, everyone was talking about him, so I challenged him to a spar. I tell you, Yugogo-chan, that spar entered in the Umbu headquarters history as one of the most beautiful fights they've ever witnessed. But something happened since that day with me and Kakashi. We didn't stop growing as ninjas, both of us got stronger, both of us became faster. But since I was older than him, the time was the winning factor and I just didn't have the strength to continue with the rivalry. 3 years after I retired from ninja duty, Kakashi was released and become a full-time jounin, since today, doing missions for the village. Do you know, Yugogo-chan, that the Yandane was Kakashi's jounin sensei? Yes, he was. So, all you need to do in order to grow stronger is to find yourself a rival, finished Minato. I will try to, San, and then when I'm strong enough, I'll challenge you again. Flashback off. To-san, I did it. I found my rival just like you found Kakashi-san, thought Yugogo, looking at the sky. Suddenly, Aoba arrived, clapping his hands at the magnificent display of ninja skills between Yugogo and Naruto. Congratulations, you two. Naruto, how did you get so fast all of a sudden? Well, since Yugogo defeated my clones with much ease, I had to take the gravity seal off, so I could fight her with all my speed and agility, said Naruto, pointing to the seal placed at his chest. Oh, I see. So, Yugogo, tell me, what about Naruto's skills, and did I heard correctly? Did you consider Naruto to be your rival? Said Aoba, flabbergasted that out of all strong genins that graduated, Naruto, a 6-year-old boy, could be Yugogo's only rival. As to your first question, Aoba-sensei, Naruto's skills with taijutsu and agility was very good for his age, as is his ninjutsu skills. Now, as to the rival thing, you heard right, Aoba-sensei, Naruto was the first one that I was able to test my abilities with. And I'm really looking forward to having another fight with you again, Naruto-kun, someday. So you better train harder, because I'll be training harder as well, said Yugogo. Next time, I'll win, Yugogo-san, challenged Naruto with a wide grin, pointing his fist with all might to the purple-haired rival. We'll see about that, Naruto-kun, smiled Yugogo. After Yugogo settled for another position to update her training program, she reached 2 scrolls, one from her father and the other from Aoba. The one from her father included some kenjutsu katas, of course. But the one from Aoba included ninjutsus. So far, Yugogo's elemental ninjutsu is none, so Aoba made a scroll of C-rank non-elemental jutsu, such as the Kage Shuriken no Jutsu, Shadow Shuriken Jutsu, and the Kanai Shuriken no Jutsu, Shadow Kanai Jutsu. Meanwhile, Naruto was trying the tree walking exercise, but with the gravity seal back on. This time, he managed up to 10 feet, and like Aoba said, Naruto was improving in a steady manner, fully grasping the concept of the exercise. Naruto, come here, it's time for you to learn the Shunshin no Jutsu. Actually, the concept is pretty easy, but the real key to this exercise is chakra amount. In order to do this technique, The ninja must focus on a specific place to be. For instance, if you are to go to your room, you'll have to imagine yourself inside that room. Once that's done, focus a considerable amount of chakra and voila," said Aoba, vanishing in a swirl of leaves and appearing behind Naruto in less than a second. "Wow, it's very cool." "Yes, it is. Now you try. For the first time, try imagining yourself in front of the same tree you practice tree walking. Imagine yourself staring at it. For the jutsu to work, all of the place's surroundings and your sight position must be put into consideration. For instance, if you want to go in front of the tree, you have to imagine yourself looking at the tree as well. Now try," explained Aoba. In order to do the technique, Naruto closed his eyes so he can imagine what it would be like standing in front of the tree, as his sensei told. At first, it was difficult since he never thought of looking at the tree before, so he would play a creative game and just figure that out. Once done, he started to focus almost the same amount of chakra needed for 4 shadow clones, and suddenly a swirl of leaves appeared below him and he vanished, only to appear with his face smashed through the tree with great intensity, almost breaking his nose because of the impact. Very good, Naruto, but tell me you didn't imagine yourself smashing your face at the tree, now did you?" said Aoba, trying his best not to laugh at the picture. "What? Do you think I take pleasure in hurting myself? Have you gone mental?" exploded Naruto. "Sorry, hee. Now try to stare at the tree from a certain distance, then try it again. You almost nailed it, if it wasn't for the fact that you almost broke your nose," laughed Aoba. "I'll show him what to laugh about, just you wait, Aoba-sensei," mumbled Naruto, before staring the tree and trying again. On the second try, Naruto appeared only centimeters from the tree, almost hitting his nose again, but he already showed improvement, nonetheless. At his 5th try, he managed to do the technique and appear a good distance from the tree, staring at her, just like he pictured in his head. "Good work, Naruto-kun. Now, from today until the last day of this week, we'll be practicing the Shunshin no Jutsu until you master it. You'll be appearing in almost every place of the house. Now, apart from that, we are focusing on increasing your stamina and your chakra control. Now I know your stamina is very high for a person your age, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't train stamina." "But Aoba-sensei, what about my morning routine? Don't they count as stamina training?" "Yes, they do. But we'll practice other exercises that can improve that area as well. Like, for example, expand your chakra amount by the constant usage of it, and when you restore it the other day, your chakra level would increase," explained Aoba. "Now, let's do the Shunshin again." With that, Naruto practiced the Shunshin until the end of the 3rd day, until Naruto had to be carried to his room by Genma because of a little chakra exhaustion and a little dizziness from doing the Shunshin so many times. So, Team 2 was alone for the first time and they had dinner without Naruto this time. "Aoba-sensei, aren't you pushing Naruto too hard? He is just 6 and he had his first chakra exhaustion too early in his life," asked Kurinai, a little worried about the little boy. "I know I am, Kurinai-san. But I am under orders from the Yondaime to better prepare him so he can take care of himself when another kidnapping attempt is to be made. I sometimes wonder if Naruto ever intended to have a normal life. All I see of him is either studying or training. Of course it's good to do all that, it's more important for a boy to be just a boy. But I'm not his father," sighed Aoba since he didn't want to see a 6-year-old training to death, even before the academy. "No, Aoba-sensei, he likes to play too. When I go to his room and pick a book to read, sometimes I see him playing with his toys. Now I wonder, is Naruto doing this for him or to live up to his father's expectations?" asked Kurinai, while Genma nodded, wanting to ask the same question. "From what the Yondaime told me, Naruto does all that for him. Naruto said to him that training to be a ninja is one of the most enjoyable things he does. His father only taught him how to use chakra and the rest he learned from books and all," explained Aoba. Yugugo, who was eating quietly, since she didn't have questions about that anymore. Naruto was like her. They wanted to be strong, they wanted to be good as shinobi. The only problem Yugugo had was that Naruto had an early start and was advancing far greater than she imagined. While listening to the other, talking about Naruto's apparent loss of childhood, she was trying to come up with a new training, perhaps even start on elemental training. Meanwhile, all the other 3 was staring at Yugugo since they wanted to know her perspective, but they found her lost in wonderings, probably about what they said about Naruto. Yugugo-chan, how about you? What do you think about Naruto?" asked Kurinai to her friend, waking her up from her trance. "Oh, you said something, Kurinai-chan?" "I asked what do you think about Naruto's death training at an early age?" asked Kurinai again, a little enraged. "Oh, well, I wouldn't worry about it so much, Kurinai-chan. The boy likes to train, big deal. There are lots of shinobi that started their careers sooner. Hatake Kakashi, A friend of my father became genin when he was Naruto's age. Itachi Uchiha as well," said Yugogo, getting back to her dinner. The conversation went on and ended with Yugogo showing her defeat and going to her bedroom, so everybody followed suit and went to their rooms. On the next day, Naruto woke up and looked at the clock a little surprised. It was already 12 p.m. He remembered Aoba-sensei saying to him about chakra exhaustion and how the person had rest to reinstate his chakra level, but Naruto never sensed that before. After he did the last out of 10 shunshin, he literally collapsed on the ground, not even remembering how he ended up sleeping on his bed. When he looked outside, he saw Team 2 already training, so he activated the gravity seal, grabbed his training clothes and went downstairs. Upon reaching the garden, he was greeted by Team 2 who were training. Genma and Yugogo were sparring while Aoba and Kurenai were as well. As Naruto turned his eyes on his rival's fight, he noticed that she was somehow holding back more than with him, and so he knew why she thought of him as her rival instead of Genma. As he was running to meet his sensei, Aoba ended the fight and asked Naruto to relax today, in order to completely restore the chakra capacity up to the standard level. With that, Naruto's chakra and stamina would grow as his body was healing from all the training he made so far. But Naruto wasn't entirely happy about that. Well, actually, he wasn't happy at all. He wanted to train, but then he remembered not ever having a day off from his training and relaxed a little bit. Okay, then, Aoba-sensei, it has been some time since I stopped to meditate some time. By doing this, I rest while I practice a little bit of chakra control. If you need me, I'll be near that tree," said Naruto, pointing to a tall tree on the other side of the training ground. "Okay, Naruto," said Aoba. With that, Naruto reached the designated tree and just seated in meditative position as well as closing his eyes, so as to clear his mind first. Meanwhile, Yugogo and Genma was taking a break and catching their breath. But Yugogo was watching Naruto close his eyes in that weird position and became confused beyond level. Now that's a first. A person like Naruto meditating. I wonder how can he possess such stamina and just sit there doing nothing at all. I would be with cramps by just sitting there for 10 minutes, and he was already going up to 30 minutes. As usual, full of surprises, thought Yugogo, while grinning towards her rival. Aoba, even while sparring with Kurenai, managed to see that Yugogo was looking at Naruto with a confused look on her face, and he laughed a bit. Motioning for Kurenai to stop the attack for a while, turned to Yugogo. "What's the matter, Yugogo? Wonder what Naruto is doing?" "Actually, yes. I was wondering how the hell a stamina freak such as Naruto could stand being on that weird position for such a time," said Yugogo, never taking her eyes off Naruto. "You see, Yugogo, the yandame told me that Naruto, at the beginning of his training exercise, did meditation a lot. Actually, he quite liked it. By doing that, Naruto managed to focus chakra through any part of his body. But according for what I was told, Naruto for the most part, focused chakra through his ears." "Why the ears, Aoba-sensei?" asked Kurenai, demonstrating quite interest on Naruto's meditation exercise. Suddenly, when Aoba was about to answer Kurenai's question, Naruto beat him to it, screaming the answer, because even though he was far from Team 2, with this exercise, he could actually hear a needle fall. "The reason why I focus the chakra through my ear is to train my hearing senses as well as listen to little noises that nature make that normally no one would identify," said Naruto, still with his eyes closed, smirking since he heard the entire conversation. "Huh, that's one good way to make excuses for eavesdrop, Naruto-kun," laughed Yugogo. "Hee, sorry about that, Yugogo-san. I can assure you that hearing your conversation about me wasn't my intention, but since you're talking about me, I guess that wouldn't be a problem, now wouldn't it?" asked Naruto mischievously, much to Yugogo's contempt. Knowing a new feature from her rival, he was a smart ass. "Okay, Naruto-kun, let's head inside. But first, I want to talk to you about something. It's regarding your future as a ninja," said Aoba, earning everyone's attention including Naruto since he was in fact with his enhanced hearing. "My future as a ninja? What does that mean, Aoba-sensei?" asked Naruto, now lifting from his sitting position and started walking towards the sun-glassed jounin. "I figured it was nice to share with you some of the experience you'll be acquiring as your life progresses. So let's head inside for lunch and all of us can have a little inside conversation." "Okay, oh that reminded me, Kurenai-san, I was thinking about buying a new book for my collection. The ones I have I already read, well at least the ones I'm able to learn, anyway. Maybe after lunch, we can go to a library that opened near here," asked Naruto with a goofy smile, showing just how much his father rubbed on him. Now this caught everyone's attention. Did Naruto ask me on a date? Kurenai/Naruto, you dog you, Genma/now, that I didn't see it coming, Naruto-kun, you never cease to amaze me, Yugogo/quite direct, don't you think, Naruto-kun? Aoba. Now, after noticing everybody staring at him with questioning looks, Naruto pounded his head, thinking he said something really stupid, but then he thought against it, remembering his words and wondering why the hell they were staring at him for. Is there something on my face, for you all to look at me like that? Naruto asked, blushing a little bit because of the attention. Oh, it's nothing, Naruto-kun, but tell me why you invited me in the first place? Asked Kurenai, still not believing that a little kid just sort of asked her out. Well, since you seem to like reading so much, I figured that if I asked Yugogo-san, she wouldn't like to go and Genma wouldn't either, said Naruto in defense. Oh, and wouldn't I enjoy it, Naruto-kun? Said Yugogo, trying to tease Naruto a little bit, since she wanted to see him blush again. Oh, it's nothing, Yugogo-san, I just figured that since you didn't bother to take a look at any of the books, I figured that you were more for practical stuff instead of theoretical stuff, said Naruto, blushing again, much to Yugogo's amusement, finding a new hobby for her, making Naruto blush. That's enough, Yugogo. Stop teasing Naruto. Kurenai, if you don't want to go with Naruto, I'll go with him, while you guys can rest a little bit, said Aoba, in defense of Naruto. Spolsport, mumbled Yugogo, much to Kurenai's amusement. She never said that she wouldn't go, it was just that the invitation was a bit sudden and completed unexpected. It's okay, Aoba-sense. I'll go with him. Don't worry, I may find some new books on genjutsu as well. Okay, Naruto-kun, I'll go. After a nod with a smile from Naruto, they started lunch as well as Aoba's little conversation idea. Well, more like a monologue of his experience as a ninja. Aoba was telling them that since he was raised a little before the last war ended, so the circumstances were different from today, but he told them anyway. He started telling about his genin days, then the Chunin exams when his first kill occurred, and the Yondaime gave him a couple of days off in order to be able to cope with the idea of continue on being a shinobi. Aoba was focusing more on this part, since being a ninja for a village meant doing missions for the village, and certain missions involved killing certain individuals that normally you didn't have to. Then, he told them about his once dream to become a part of Umbu, but he discharged the idea when one of his closest friends was killed on his first mission as Umbu. Aoba told them that he was instated as a jounin soon after, and then was assigned to teach Team 2. Wow, Aoba-sensei, how did you cope with your first kill? Asked Naruto, clearly being the most interested of the audience that was listening to Aoba's little biography as a ninja. It was my sensei at the time. His name is Hyuga Hizachi. He was the one that told me that killing the first time was hard and that the second one was obviously the hardest, said Aoba, getting a nod from all present. Naruto, even though was only 6-year-old, and normally wouldn't be able to grasp the reason why the second kill was any different than the first one. But the fact is that some of Naruto's books were written by retired shinobi, who described their life as well. Anyway, Hizachi-sensei made me realize that I only killed because the enemy attacked me. You see, back then, I thought I was a killer, a murderer. But sensei literally slapped me with the jukin, so to beat some sense into me and tell me that if that was true then every ninja in this village would be a homicidal maniac, said Aoba, laughing since he remembered how his face was hurting because of the jukin hit that time. Hizashi-sama slapped you with the jukin, why? Asked Naruto, mentally imagining the scene. It was his way to beat some sense into people, I guess. But that hurt a lot. Well, that was my story. The reason why I talked about it, it's because children usually dream of the chance of being ninjas and perform what they would say kick-ass missions. But being a ninja is no game, Naruto-kun. I've seen many young genins losing their lives, thinking they were the strongest man alive, and now they're dead because they underestimated just what it means to be a ninja. Now I'm not telling you that a ninja has to be emotionless in battle. It's actually one of the shinobi rules. Always control your emotions when in a mission. I just wanted to let you know this before going through with it. Aoba-sensei, I know about all of this, well, I don't know actually. But some of the books I read were histories from retired shinobis and their lives as ninjas. The one I enjoyed the most was from a man named Jiraiya. Yeah, according to the book, he was the dead last of his genin class and ended up being on the legendary Sannin along with a woman named Tsunade and a snake-like man named Orochimaru, said Naruto, much to Aoba's smirk, learning that Naruto was telling about his father's sensei. Is this the same Jiraiya that wrote those orange books that have been circulating around practically all men around Konoha, Aoba-sensei? Asked Kurenai, already fuming at the mention of the perverted writer, who poisoned the mind of practically every male individual in Konoha. Unfortunately, yes, Kurenai-san, he is, sighed Aoba, remembering one of his friends' ride-on that was pretty much blabbering about scenes of the book named Aika Aika. Well, Naruto-kun, shall we go to the library? I want to see if a new book on genjutsu arrived, asked Kurenai, eager to go to the library. Do you think that they have books on kenjutsu, Naruto-kun? I was thinking on developing my own style, said Yugogo, earning some wide eyes from Kurenai. I think they have. Do you want to come as well, Yugogo-san? How about I race you there? Oh, and no shunshin allowed. Challenged Yugogo, smiling from seeing Naruto smiling and then mumbling soon after. Okay then, the library is a few blocks to the right. Kurenai-san, want to race too? It will be fun, said Naruto smiling. After receiving a nod, Naruto released his gravity seal, and the three of them rushed out of the house and jumped to the first rooftop available. Since Yugogo and Kurenai had more experience jumping from rooftops, Naruto at first was getting behind. Seeing that he was losing the race, since the library was coming into view faster, he channeled the most chakra he could at the moment through his feet and got a big impulse, getting only inches distant from the two girls, who smiled upon seeing him landing 1 second later than them in front of the academy. Inside, Naruto was mumbling a little bit, after losing the race, but the sight before him managed to put a smile on Naruto. He was in front of the biggest ninjutsu scrolls section of his life, and he was drooling. Naruto once remembered his father telling him not to buy strong jutsu scrolls since he was very young and inexperienced with such a thing. But he chose to defy his father, taking a book that was saying Kaze Elemental Ninjutsu. Upon grabbing the book, something strange happened and a little gust of wind flew to Naruto's face. Upon asking the vendor, the man said that the author put a little seal on the cover to identify people that had wind affinity. At first, Naruto didn't understand, but bought the book, excited about having a wind affinity, whatever that meant. Kurenai couldn't find her book, but Yugogo bought 2 books written by a Konoha's Kenjutsu master back at the time of the Shodaime and the Nidame's era. For someone who didn't like to read books, she was giggling like a little schoolgirl, running through all the possibilities of her creating a new Kenjutsu style that was based on her father's Kenjutsu. Even though she had to learn all her dad's katas, she was sure that she wanted to create her own, just like her dad did with his. As soon as they arrived the compound, Naruto rushed to his room to some quiet reading as well as satisfy his never-ending curiosity to grasp the entire book, but since his father warned him about ninjutsu at such an early age, he considered taking it slow, just like the tree walking exercise. The book gave a little introduction on the author as well as some knowledge about Kaze ninjutsu. Meanwhile, Yugogo was beginning to grasp the reason why Naruto and Kurenai were so eager to read new books. This one had some images of well-known Kenjutsu styles as well as a wide description of the moves and katas. Kurenai, on the other hand, was fuming in anger. She didn't find any books she liked, and she didn't have what to do, so she went up to Naruto's room to see if he had a book she could read that didn't involve things she already mastered. "Excuse me, Naruto-kun, may I come in?" asked Kurenai, after knocking on the door to let Naruto know she was there. "Of course, Kurenai-san, what can I do for you?" "I was wondering if you could borrow a book for me to read. I really need something to keep my mind on, and mine I already finished," said Kurenai, with a bit of sadness running through her voice as well as her face. "Well, what I have you pretty much already nailed at the academy. But since I will be so caught up with the book I bought today, you can read the one I was reading about tactics and strategy. Here, take it. It's a very good book. He traps you, and once you begin to read it, you will be eager to read more. The stories are written so to catch the reader's interest from the beginning," said Naruto, smiling a bit from his own memories, never letting go of such book for a while. "Gee, thanks. I'll read right away," said Kurenai, sitting close to a table inside Naruto's bedroom, much to Naruto's surprise since she was sitting in his room to read the book instead of going to the living room like other times. The 4th day went by pretty quick and everyone went to sleep. On the next day, since Naruto was with his chakra and energy restored, he woke up early and proceeded to his exercises on the training ground. After that, he started his new taijutsu training. This time, Naruto summoned 2 shadow clones to work as sparring partners, instead of relying on the wooden dummies. Upon asking from the 2 to fight him, each of them went to identical stances, since they were all the same person, and the 2 clones went to attack Naruto at the same time. Seeing this, Naruto shined out of the way and appeared on the clone's back to strike forward with a swift kick, but was blocked by the first clone when the second clone came charging Naruto, aiming a punch at his face, only for Naruto to perform a kawarimi and appear a log instead. On this time, Naruto with a roundhouse kick managed to hit the first clone, making him vanish in a puff of smoke, leaving only 1 clone to handle. Suddenly, the clone channeled chakra through his feet and appeared in front of Naruto really fast, shortening Naruto's time of response by quickly blocking his face from a very strong punch that would seriously hurt him. After some blows exchanged between the Narutos, the real one was able to feel the adrenaline inside his body, and he was feeling better than before. When the clone tried to kick the real one, Naruto ducked and did a low lick, hitting the clone's legs, winning the battle. "Wow, that was awesome, but maybe tomorrow I could try to take on 3 clones." Meanwhile, Aoba was seeing the whole thing proudly of little Gaki's progress. As he was lost in wonderings, he never saw Naruto managing to go up to half the tree before having to evade and land on his feet in safety. Being on time with his routine, Naruto's shun shined inside the living room and appeared inside out of the blue, scaring Kurenai, who was holding a side dish. "Naruto-kun, don't do that, you almost gave me a heart attack," said Kurenai, catching her breath a little bit. "Sorry there, Kurenai-san, I was just practicing the shunshin," said Naruto, scratching his hair, grinning a little bit. "Oh, I see you're almost mastering the shunshin, Naruto, good for you. That training of yours with the Kage Bunshin was a very good idea. With that, you can see your movements being performed in front of you and learn how to counterattack your own style. Very ingenious," said Aoba, overestimating Naruto, since the little blonde didn't think about that at all. "Well, actually, Aoba-sensei, I never thought it like that. The reason why I did was to put some movements on my taijutsu partner, because the training dummies just don't do it for me anymore. But I'll think about what you said, Aoba-sensei," said Naruto, earning a laugh from the other genins and an apologetic look by Aoba. Their afternoon went on with Yugogo and Genma sparring against Aoba and Kurenai in order for them to improve teamwork and learn how to work effectively with the partner. Meanwhile, Naruto was training in speed. By focusing chakra through his feet, he was running laps around the compound a couple of times, as well as doing a couple of dashes to left and to the right. After 20 laps, he was getting tired and a little dizzy, so he stopped to meditate some time. At night, Naruto started to read his book on Kaze, wind, ninjutsu. While going through the pages, he was literally imagining the words that he was reading in his mind and imagining him performing such techniques. He mumbled something about having to grasp at least water walking level chakra control in order to start doing chakra elemental manipulation, but he could learn what to do in theory, so he only had to practice what he learned when his control was to be good enough. Since Naruto discovered about his natural wind affinity, he decided that when he finished the tree walking exercise he would jump right on the water walking exercise. Upon looking at the clock, he realized it was getting late, so he went to bed, not knowing that his worst fears would come barging on his door one more time. Close to Konoha's border. Close to one of Konoha's border, 4 IWA Chunins and a IWA Jounin were setting up camp. They were on a mission. The mission was to kidnap the Yellow Flash at all costs. Since the first mission went in disaster, and the Hokage didn't want to start another war because of this, IWA were putting all their efforts into this mission. They couldn't afford to go to another war against Konoha's Yellow Flash, since nowadays Konoha got themselves new legends like Sharingan no Kakashi as well as an Umbu captain by the name of Itachi. Uchiha Itachi, even though supposed to be an Umbu, his name spread wide across the ninja nations and got himself a considerable reputation. His team is famous since they were successful in every mission they encountered so far. Back with the IWA team, each of them were resting, pretty confident that Konoha wouldn't suspect of their mission to kidnap the Hokage's son. Little did they know that not only Team 2 were protecting Naruto, but also a seal that was secretly placed inside the compound that would alert an Umbu team that was taking place near the house. Near the Namikaze compound. A couple miles away from the Namikaze compound, a team of Umbu officials were guiding the house. Their captain, no other than Uchiha Itachi, was chosen by the Hokage himself in order to assist Team 2 in case the enemy would be too strong for them to take. Itachi, on his part, ordered his team to be close and that he would scout the compound to see if everything was in order. From time to time, he did just that, and now he landed near a tree and surpassed his presence in a way that not even Aoba could detect. Right now, Itachi was observing a little blonde running around the compound, as well as training his agility. From some time, Itachi was taking a big interest in Naruto. He is a proud member of one of the first clans in Konoha, the Uchiha clan. But for some time, the Uchiha clan began too proud of their bloodline, the Sharingan, and they were beginning to become sloppy. Once they developed the Sharingan, all they did was copy others' abilities and get stronger by doing just that. This fact enraged Itachi to no end. He was perhaps the only one who got stronger by not relying on his Dijitsu, and actually trained his body like no other did before. And Naruto, he could choose to use his father's name and become just like those lazy bastards on the Uchiha clan, but he chose to train in order to get stronger. That's why Itachi got interest in Naruto, and he would wait to fight him in a battle to see who is the strongest. Inside the compound, Team 2 had already wake up and saw Naruto just finishing his tree walking exercise. This time, Naruto managed up to 3/4 of tree, and he was damn proud of his accomplishment. He vowed to quick the steps a little bit and surpassed his sensei's advice on the exercise, but the real motive of grasping the exercise step by step was to feel the chakra on each step on the tree, and Naruto was doing just that. Right now, Naruto summoned 3 Kage Bunshins and started a taijutsu match with them. This time, Naruto got bruised considerably, so Kurenai did a little curative on him. "Slow down, Naruto. This way, you may get hurt," said Kurenai, worrying about the little blonde. "I'm sorry, Kurenai-san, I didn't see the last one behind me," Fight 3 at the same time, it's sure heavy stuff, but I almost got it. Next time, said Naruto, but got interrupted by Kurenai. Wait, you are not considering doing that again, are you? What would happen if the bruise was to be worse, huh? Lectured Kurenai at the blonde, earning looks of surprise by the blonde. I have to become stronger, Kurenai-san. I know that you're worried about me, but I don't have the luxury to slack on my training. Hell, I don't even want to take it easy. I want to be strong, so everyone would stop to protect me eventually and I would start to protect them, explained Naruto kindly, leaving Kurenai flabbergasted as to what a 6-year-old boy was saying. I'm sorry, Naruto. But try not to get hurt next time, okay? Said Kurenai in defeat. Got it, thanks for taking care of me, Kurenai-san, I really appreciated it, said Naruto showing a wide and warm smile. No problem, said Kurenai while smiling at Naruto's wild determination in getting strong. To tell the truth, Naruto was actually sad about having to be protected all the time. Sure, he was young. But normal young ones didn't have that kind of protection, so Naruto sighed while seeing that his future, while not predictable, would have to be similar to his father's, at least until this whole IWA/Konoha problem. But on the other hand, he was happy because he met 4 new friends and a new rival in Yugogo. Returning to the task in hand, Naruto continued to train and perfect his taijutsu sigil, now summoning only 2 Kage Bunshin so that Kurenai wouldn't worry about him. While keeping a steady and beautiful fight, Naruto and his clones was performing graceful moves, literally giving Team 2 the Yandame's taijutsu style. Since it was based on speed attacks and moderate force, Naruto was able to train both of them on equal levels, most of it, with speed being first and strength a little after. Meanwhile, Gunma was learning a new Katan Jutsu from Aoba called Katan Ryoka no Jutsu, Fire Style, Fire Dragon Jutsu. Yugogo, for her part, was meditating like Naruto and Aoba suggested, but being who she is, she just couldn't just sit still for 5 minutes, before jumping like a mad person and start slicing the air with her katana, much to the dismay of everyone around. Seeing this, Naruto turned to her and started asking. Yugogo-san, tell me something? Do you have one thing in particular that calms or relaxes you? Asked Naruto, earning some thought from Yugogo. Well, something that relaxes me, the hot springs, yeah? That relax me, but why are you asking, Naruto? Said Yugogo, sending mischievous grins at him. If that's the case, try closing your eyes and imagining you are taking one of the best baths you ever took. Started Naruto, motioning for Yugogo to follow his lead and try again. Now, as you are taking the bath, now channel chakra through your ears and hear the wind blowing through the air like it wanted to pass by you and cool you head to toe. Now, casually sit in mantra position and keep imagining that you are taking a bath as well as listening the almost silent noise of the water evaporating from the heat temperature. Said Naruto in a most calming voice that managed to calm Mato Guy, when he is screaming about fire of youth, calming Yugogo up to the point where she sit down and displayed a smile that could only be seen when she was in fact taking a bath. As Naruto managed to calm Yugogo down, he resumed to his tree walking exercise a little bit and got up steady 3/4 of the tree, just like before but easier. After that, all of them went inside to have some lunch. 3 hours later, the sun was almost setting down, and Naruto was just training some of his agility to end the day. Seeing the blonde outside, Team 2 could only sigh inside, since they pretty much were exhausted just by seeing Naruto practice. But none of them was prepared to hear the sound of a giant boulder coming down, and almost smashed Naruto pretty good. Upon seeing the shadow of the boulder, the blonde jumped away of the course, saving himself from it, but from out of the blue, a team of IWA shinobis appeared and smiled towards their objective. Since Naruto was alone on the garden, the IWA shinobi had a big advantage by blocking all the entrances of the house, so that Team 2 couldn't stop them. Why are you after me? What did I do to you? Screamed Naruto, showing a little bit of fear, since the IWA shinobis were laughing at his face while approaching to him in a threatening manner. It's not you, kid, it's because of your father, and what he did to us, said on the Chunins. It was war, my father wouldn't do that if it wasn't. And it's not like each of you would kill him if an opportunity appeared. Asked Naruto, remembering about a book that he read on the last shinobi war and the legend of his father in IWA. Nevertheless, he killed many shinobis and such thing will get punishment, and since he's too strong, we'll get his son instead. Said another Chunin while trying to strike Naruto with a kick at the stomach that he slightly dodged thanks to his evasive training. But since the Chunin surely wouldn't stop attacking, he turned and punched Naruto on the face, sending him flying and landing on the ground with blood coming out of his mouth. Naruto stood up and wiped the blood of his face proudly and determined. He had to thank the guy who punched him and awoke him of his fright. After that, he grinned and made the hand seal, while screaming Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. After that, 5 Narutos appeared and surprised all of the IWA shinobis for good. But Naruto knew that even though the numbers were on his side, the skill just wasn't, so he did the only thing he could do and managed to save his ass. Seeing that the Kage Bunshins were vanishing like nothing, Naruto did the other technique he learned and vanished from sight. "Where is that brat? Where did he go?" screamed in anger one of the Chunin. "I don't know, he just disappeared. Is this a genjutsu?" "No, it can't be. He is only 6. That's just not possible." Inside the compound, Team 2 were scared of what could have happened to the blonde. They just couldn't let Naruto alone with those foes, but they locked all the access points to the garden and they couldn't go help him. Instantly, they felt useless. The blonde kid rubbed them a lot, and they were beginning to get desperate when they heard Naruto scream the Kage Bunshin, and they were frightened. "Aoba-sensei, we have to save him. He can't fight 4 Chunins alone. Even 1 Chunin would be almost impossible for him," said Genma to Aoba. "I know that, Genma. Believe me, if it were anything we could do, we would have done in an instant, but they blocked all the entrances. We are trapped," sighed Aoba. Suddenly, they felt a little gust of wind on their backs and turned to see a miracle just appearing. Naruto was there with them with his usual grin. But he didn't know that he just used Futon Chakra while doing the Shunshin. Actually, Aoba was the first to notice that and were literally flabbergasted, but lost the thoughts when Yugo and Kurinai went to see if he was okay. "Naruto-kun, are you okay? Are you hurt?" said both ladies in unison, causing Naruto to blush a little bit even though they were in a hell of a situation. "I'm okay, you guys. Don't worry, I used Kage Bunshin to get them occupied so I could do the Shunshin and got out of the way, appearing here," said Naruto. "Very clever of you, Naruto. Now, how many Kage Bunshins you made?" Aoba asked since he still heard fight on the backyard. "Only 5, but I believe that they were already out when I shunshined out of there. Why?" "'Cause I can hear sounds of people fighting outside," said Aoba, earning the surprised look from everyone, including Naruto, even though he was the one that created the clones. Suddenly, the wall of mud vanished, opening the passageways to the garden, revealing 3 Umbus standing and 4 Chunins on the ground unconscious. Seeing that everyone was looking at them, the Umbu captain came inside and assured Team 2 that the ninjas were taken care of. "How are you, Naruto-kun? You were very smart, using Shunshin to get out of the way. It actually made our job easier by dispatching those fools," said the Umbu captain, also known as Uchiha Itachi. "It was nothing, Nisan. If Aoba-sensei didn't teach me the technique, it would be hard as hell to escape." "Thank you very much, Aoba-sensei," said Naruto. "Naruto-kun, do you know him? And why did you call him an Aisan?" asked Kurinai. "I know him. He came and taught me how to improve my taijutsu once. He is very nice and strong too. I want to be just like him and Kakashi and Aisan when I grow up. And the reason I call him my Aisan is that I consider him and Kakashi like they were my big brothers," said Naruto, smiling at the Umbu captain. "I expect big things from you, Naruto-kun. Keep up the good work. Now, my team will be taking the enemies up to Ibiki for questioning. See ya, Naruto-kun," said Itachi before vanishing out of sight. Once everyone was relieved of the situation, but Aoba still looked at Naruto with not believing eyes. If he respected the boy before, he now admired him. How the hell that he learned elemental manipulation? On the next day at the Hokage's office. Minato arrived back from Kumo and they were pleased because of a little agreement he arranged with the now allied country. But Minato was worried as hell for his son, and as it seemed by the report handed by Aoba and Itachi, IWA did try to kidnap Naruto again. Luckily, Naruto managed to escape doing 2 jutsus that only he was able to do at such an age. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu and Shunshin no Jutsu were not difficult jutsus to make, but what they lack in performing, these jutsus compensate with the amount of chakra needed for them. But what startled Minato was what Aoba's report said at the end. When Naruto shined inside the compound, Aoba could sense Futon chakra embedded in the technique, and he swore that Naruto made a Futon Shunshin no Jutsu, wind style, body flicker jutsu, a technique used by ninjas in Suna. But when he asked Aoba of any evidence of how Naruto even heard of elemental manipulation, he shrugged and said that he didn't see any material that could teach him that. "How, Naruto? Just tell me, how can you manage to surpass my expectation all the time? I guess now he's more than ready for my new system at the academy, huh?" 2 weeks after the IWA failure, Naruto got the tree walking chakra exercise, and now he was studying about the water walking exercise that the Futon book was telling about. Since Aoba was no longer teaching him, he needed some pointers about the water walking exercise. Even though the fact that the book said that once the tree walking exercise was done, the water walking wouldn't be harder, only with a different concept. The water walking exercise involved the control of the flow of chakra as well, But when walking on water, the ninja needed to control the flow of chakra according to the distance between the water surface and the ground. Next week, Naruto would start at the academy and he was nervous as hell. He wanted to become stronger, he wanted to learn more jutsus and be able to protect others, as well as himself. Naruto knew that Neji would attend the academy as well. Even though Naruto made Yugogo as his second rival, Neji was his lifetime rival. Right now, Naruto was doing taijutsu training with 4 Kage Bunshins and he was faring very good against them. Minato was looking his son handing himself against 4 Kage Bunshins and was actually doing very good. His taijutsu skills were very good for even a 10-year-old academy student. Minato was so caught in wanderings that he failed to see that his son just disappeared from view and actually was behind him. When Minato realized this, he looked at his back and was flabbergasted. He sensed the usage of Futon chakra and now was sure that Aoba wasn't hallucinating. Minato was so proud of his son that he grabbed his son and lifted him as he was laughing along with the Namikaze prodigy. Kushina was already up and was able to witness the bonding between father and son. Needless to say, her worries were for nothing after all. Naruto, you look more like your father every day. Now, you're going to the academy and you are to become stronger than you are now. I'll pray for your success, Naruto-kun, and I hope to see you accomplish great things as a shinobi, thought Kushina as she was smiling at his son. Naruto-kun, why don't you get upstairs and get ready for breakfast, okay? Said Kushina to her son. Sure thing, Ka-san, I did a lot of exercises today. I think I'll take a little shower and then visit Neji. How is that? Asked Naruto. Okay, Naruto-kun. Just don't spar too much with him, okay? Last time, both of you needed some wound treatment. Hee, it's just how we play together. Don't worry, Ka-san. I won't spar with him too much. Bye, said Naruto as he shined away in a little typhoon up to his room, leaving Minato laughing at his son's antics and Kushina fuming from seeing her husband laugh at her. Don't worry, Kushina-chan, he'll be just fine. The boy enjoys being a shinobi more than anything. It's no use trying to take that away from him now. Besides, he and Neji are entering the academy next week. Plus, our little son is growing, said Minato, still smiling while remembering about Naruto's wind Shunshin. I know, Minato-kun, I no longer wonder about him in that way. He knows how to have fun like a kid, he'll just continue to play like that his entire life, that's all, said Kushina, in an ironic manner. Yeah, you're right. Also, I came to know that our son is already earning some female attention, if you know what I mean. Way to go, my boy. Why are you looking at me like that, Kushina-chan? Explain yourself, Minato Namikaze, what do you mean by that? Demanded Kushina to the yandere, demonstrating to the blonde leader who is his worst enemy out of the shinobi world, much to Minato's dismay. He was in trouble and he knew it. Honestly, Minato wondered about putting Team 2 for taking care of Naruto because of Kurenai and Yugogo. Such teenagers were very good looking for their ages and he knew that Naruto's personality would shake such girls a little bit. But what Aoba said left Minato wide-eyed for a moment, as he wondered how they would do when they see Naruto in the future. As the team's sensei said, Naruto already made a rival out of Yugogo for practice and kind of asked Kurenai out to the library to buy a new book, but what one he didn't know. Well, Kushina-chan, the team responsible for Naruto's well-being involved 2 kunoichis that took a liking at our little boy. One that is a kenjutsu specialist asked our son to be her rival and the other accompanied Naruto-kun to the library to buy a new book. No need to worry, Kushina-chan, said the yandere, putting his hands behind his head, smiling like a maniac, much to Kushina's sigh, since she couldn't resist that goofy smile of his. If you say so, Minato-kun. Well, me and Naruto-kun are heading to visit Neji-kun and after that I think I will surprise him with some ninja equipment for the academy, right? He's starting next week, so it would be best to buy all the stuff he needs like shuriken, kunais, ninja outfits, said Kushina, smiling from ear to ear, while thinking about her little son as one of Konoha's finest one day. Good idea, Kushina-chan. Well, I have to go to the office. Sarutobi and I are finishing the new academy plan, and we need to finish it until the first day of the academy when the new academy is to be presented to the new students. With this, our shinobi will be more prepared and much stronger to deal with tough situations. Well, good day at work, Minato-kun. Thanks, have a nice day as well, Kushina-chan, and I love you, said Minato as he waved his wife goodbye. Love you too, Minato-kun. Just as Minato got out of the compound, Naruto got downstairs and set for breakfast with Kushina keeping him company while he ate the equivalent to a little battalion in order to replace the energy lost, which by the way Kushina wondered if her son would ever be exhausted one day. Because of the gravity seal still on, Naruto got accustomed with the new weight and was moving normally. Actually, with the tree walking exercise, Naruto learned a great deal of chakra control as well, so he managed to get used to walking with extra weight by channeling chakra through his legs for better moving and without much restriction. After breakfast, Naruto and Kushina went outside and both looked at the sun radiating Konoha like never before. It was a very hot day that even though Konoha is situated at the fire country, the temperature was higher than normal, attracting all the Konoha citizens to the lakes around town so to refresh. At the Hyuga compound. When Naruto and Kushina arrived at the gate, the Hyuga guards bowed and allowed them entrance, since not only they were the Hokage's family, but the Namake's family was really close to the Hyuga main family, as well as the fact that Naruto and Kushina have a bond with Hyuga Tenko and Niji. Once inside, the Namakes waited patiently at the main garden until Hizashi and Niji appeared to greet them. Hizashi told Kushina that Tenko was at the living room having some tea, so Kushina went inside to chat with her friend and have a little talk to catch up. Meanwhile, Naruto and Niji were eyeing each other with the regular intent of a little spar, but because of the last time they fought, Hizashi prohibited them to fight for a little while, serving as a little punishment from Kushina and Tenko, much to the infants' dismay, since when they fought each other, they improved. Niji, since the last time, was training with his father in advanced instances of the Hyuga style of fighting and got a lot stronger as a result. Because of the fact that neither Naruto or Niji could fight, both of them decided to talk about the upcoming academy and the fact that Naruto overheard his father saying that they were to be a part of the new academy, but since Minato didn't talk in details, Naruto didn't have more to say about it. So Naruto, I believe that you're entering the academy, isn't it? Good, because I intend to enter as well and I want to see just how you improved since the last time you and I fought. I'll have you know that I've been training with father in the advanced ways of the Juken, said Niji, earning a fire inside Naruto since he was desperate for a spar between them but sighed, thinking that they could fight like crazy once at the academy. Yeah, Niji, I'm entering as well and believe me, I've been training as well. Let's wait until the academy arrives, then we can test our strength against each other, hehehe, I can't wait. Grinned Naruto, remembering the last time they fought. Hizashi, long since hearing the conversation with his son and the Hokage's son, could only laugh at such a rivalry that was built, and hoped that these two would be the ones that guided the next ninja generation to success, if they don't get themselves killed when fighting at the academy, that is. Hizashi was looking at the blonde with the Byakugan, and he was amazed to see that the blonde's chakra coils were more improved than it's supposed to be for someone his age, but something he saw near the chest area just confirmed the fact that the yandame was indeed a madman, since there was place a gravity seal, which the Hyuga could only figure that since Naruto was so at ease by walking around that the infant was already used to using it. Yes, these two will be very strong indeed. So tell me, Naruto, why do you want to become a ninja? I already asked Nae that, since it's important to follow the family tradition, but it's more important to follow your instincts and know what you want to do in life? Asked Hizashi, showing the infants that the shinobi world is nothing sort of a game to be played. Well, Hizashi-sama, I would like to be a ninja in order to protect others as well as myself. You see, ever since the first IWA attempt of kidnapping, I found that if I was strong enough, I wouldn't need to be protected anymore, and I believe helping others is what I intend to do once I become a shinobi. After all shinobi missions are requested by people who need help, isn't it? Said Naruto, with a hand behind his head and smiling. Very well, good answer, Naruto. It's important to know what you want to be in life. It's important to plan ahead and remember, children, the shinobi world is no fun and games. Once the mission gets out of hand, it's up to the shinobi to use his skills in a way to run damage control if need be. There will be times when you guys have to kill in the name of the village or at least defend yourselves from powerful ninjas out there. Naruto, since you are the yandame's son, watch out for IWA shinobi. Once you're outside the village, they won't hesitate to capture you. Niji, in your case, Kumo is for you like IWA is for Naruto, so when your time comes and you need to get out of the village on missions, be extra careful, okay? Take this advice to the heart. Hi, said the two infants in unison, earning a smile from the Hyuga elder. After some time talking, Kushina bid her friend goodbye since she wanted to surprise Naruto by buying him shinobi gear for the academy that would be starting in 1 week. Tenko smiled at her friend and bid her farewell. Once outside, Kushina called for Naruto so that they can go back to the Namake's compound, but little did Naruto know that his mother had something in storage for him. At the Yuzuki residence. In the garden, a purple-haired kunoichi was practicing some kenjutsu katas while her father just watched in amazement as his daughter was faster and stronger by the minute. He smiled, remembering when Yugogo came home 2 weeks ago telling them about her team's mission protecting Naruto as well as training alongside him. Back then, Yugogo came rushing at him with a smile that could be seen all over Konoha as she was describing her newest rival, which by the way was the 6-year-old Hokage's son, who not only managed to gather her interest out of all her genin peers, but also seemed to fare pretty well in taijutsu/kenjutsu spar with Yugogo. Yuzuki Momoto never would have thought that the yandame's son could be advanced like his daughter described his skills. He was flabbergasted upon hearing that Naruto had immense chakra reserves and was able to do the Kage Bunshin as well as the Shunshin, being the latter added with Futon chakra according to his daughter's sensei Aoba. But a thought appeared in Minato's head and he remembered that his daughter had a crush on the current Hokage and he wished that her crush wouldn't end up being the Hokage's son, wishing that his daughter if in fact wanted to be with Naruto, that at least they got to know each other better and develop their lives. Minato thought again and concluded that his daughter was never a fangirl to begin with, and he knew that she would take her rivalry with the Gaki seriously as well as their certain friendship. Yugigo for her part was getting used to using the gravity seal that Naruto put on her a week ago. As she was delivering some heavy blows while cutting the air, she remembered the day that Naruto explained the use of gravity seal and that she requested if it was possible that he could put on her. Flashback on. 1 week after the IWA attempt, Naruto was walking towards the library to see if something new had arrived. Suddenly, a purple-haired kunoichi appeared out of nowhere, screaming his name. "Naruto-kun, wait up!" screamed Yugigo as she appeared in front of him. "Yugigo-san, how do you do? Where is the fire?" asked Naruto. "I'm fine, Naruto-kun. Listen, I would like to ask you a question about your gravity seal. How does it work? Can I use it or it's something Hokage-sama invented for you to use?" asked Yugigo, remembering about their fight when he released his gravity seal and suffered a huge burst of speed. "Well, the gravity seal works by increasing the gravity force on your body, naturally increasing your body weight. With it, moving tends to be difficult, since the gravity force is much stronger. The way you can move with the gravity seal is by pumping chakra through your legs as you move them. This exercise helps to expand your chakra reserves as well as your control over it. After the seal is rested on you, all you have to do to activate is channel chakra through it, and use the word Kai, and it's the same to deactivate. You can put more than one seal on your body as you are getting used to. Apart from the fact that it's quite dangerous because the heavy movement tends to hurt your body muscles, everyone can use it. Why?" "Well, I was hoping if you could put one on me. It's not fair that you use this and I your rival don't," said Yugigo, earning some muttering from Naruto, saying that she is 8 years older than him and already a genin, and she is the one that uses the word fair in a sentence. But luckily to him, she didn't listen. "Sure, but I see you understand the risks. Once I put one of the gravity seal on you, it will be hell to get used to. Are you okay with it?" said Naruto, earning a nod and a smile from her rival. "Okay, so where do you want the gravity seal to go?" asked Naruto, blushing a little bit, since his was on his chest and he wouldn't dare to ask her if she wanted it on her chest, but somehow he knew that his rival would have some teasing because of it. "Wherever you like it, Naruto-kun," said Yugigo, earning a red Tamadu blush out of her rival, much to her amusement, seeing that she adored to tease Naruto. "Teasings apart, I want on my left arm." "Then, extend your arm, Yugigo-san, so I can put the gravity seal on," said Naruto as Yugigo complied. At extending her arms, Naruto placed a paper tag with a drawing that indicated the gravity seal and made the necessary hand seals to make it go active on her, making her fall on the ground because of it. Now Yugigo was speechless and hurt. Her face was flat out on the ground and she forced herself up with brute strength, but was having problems doing so only to look that Naruto was looking at her seriously. "Yugigo-san, in order to move with the gravity seal active, you have to use chakra, not brute strength. The gravity seal increases your body weight up to 20 pounds per seal. So if you think about it, you would weigh 20 pounds more with each seal." At hearing this, Yugigo mumbling something about cursing the little Gaki and wondering how the hell could he take this and be normally. She focused on using chakra on her body as she was getting up a little easily, but since her chakra levels were lower than Naruto, she was almost panting because of it, having to deactivate the gravity seal. "Quite a training, isn't it, Yugigo-san?" laughed Naruto as he remembered himself slamming his face on the ground after his father introduced him to the seal. Flashback off. As a result of getting used to the gravity seal, her chakra levels improved greatly, and she could almost scream in joy as she would be now learning ninjutsu with Aoba-sensei. Even though Yugigo's chakra levels were high for a kunoichi, she couldn't rely on ninjutsu to fight in battle, resorting to the use of E-ranked jutsus and her father's kenjutsu style. It seemed my father's advice at getting a rival did indeed help me a lot. I have to remember thanking Naruto-kun for the gravity seal. It was sure hell getting used to, but once you get accustomed, it pretty much feels that the seal is non-existent, thought Yugigo as she was progressing through the katas. With Naruto and Kushina. Now outside the Hyuga compound, Naruto and Kushina were walking through the crowded streets of Konoha, apparently going nowhere. Well, for Naruto's part, he didn't know where they were going, but Kushina very well knew, and she was going to surprise Naruto by going to a ninja store that she and Minato were when they were Chunin some time ago. Naruto was becoming suspicious of his mother's behavior since she was trying to hide a smile on her face for no apparent reason. Kushina was never good with deception skills, but even though Naruto was quite smart for his age, he lacked the experience to understand face expressions and compare them with emotions. However, since he didn't have anything to do back at home, other than catching up on the futon book, he dismissed the thought, and just continued walking together with his mother, until they came to stop near the commercial center, and in front of a 2-floor house. Showing Naruto to enter along with a smile on her face as she watched the now more suspicious than ever Naruto enter in what he would after describe as a shinobi paradise. As he entered the store, his mouth opened and his jaw hit the ground 1 second later. Shelves and shelves of ninja attire, kunais, shurikens, senbons, holsters, kodachis, katanas, wakizachis, bow staffs. Right now, Naruto cursed not having the Byakugan blood limit, since he couldn't look at all the ninja equipment at once, which resulted in Naruto turning his head left and right several times trying to grasp the wide display of ninja attire the same way a child would look at a toy store. Kushina, upon seeing Naruto's expression, smiled even more if possible, since the woman was already smiling when she entered the door. She was happy to see how much Naruto seemed to enjoy just being inside the store, as did his father once Kushina introduced him to the owner of the store. Surprise, Naruto-kun, we're here to buy some ninja equipments as well as some clothes to aid you in battle. Now since kunais, shurikens, and the holsters are pretty much the same, except for the holster's color, go ahead and pick some clothes that you would like to wear, but tell me what color would you like the holster, and how many of them? Ka-san, I don't know what to say, thank you so much for this, I wasn't expecting at all, said Naruto as he hugged his mother tight in appreciation. You're most welcome, Naruto-kun, but eventually you would need to come here to buy clothes and all. I just wanted to surprise you, and by seeing the looks on your face, I think I managed to do that, didn't I? Now, what's going to be? Said Kushina, smiling while seeing Naruto was still trying to show gratitude to her. Black holster, and I would like 2 of them. Thanks, Mom, I'll go to see some clothes now, said Naruto as he went to the shinobi wear section and begun to look around, already picturing a very cool outfit for him. While Kushina was ordering the usual, that being a set of kunai, a set of shuriken, and the 2 black holsters. For Naruto's part, he was first choosing his paints. Naruto wasn't too fond of much details concerning clothes, he wanted it to plain and simple, a color that would not attract attention but also didn't scream experienced shinobi. As he was seeing the different pants models, his eyes caught some movement from a room just on the corner of the store, and he witnessed a girl around his age, wearing Chinese outfit, just picking some boxes from the room. After that, he just returned to the outfit choosing and managed to come in contact with black cargo paints that were similar with the ones be used on missions. After that, t-shirts and fishnet shirts. Naruto already knew he wanted to use fishnet sleeveless shirts, so he didn't even bother looking for it. After some time, after almost quitting to look for a shirt to wear, he spotted a shelf of graffiti t-shirts with the ribbons at the end of the sleeves that were really nice. As Naruto mentally pictured his new look, he smiled knowing that he was able to choose his outfit. He was to buy some black cargo paints, fishnet sleeveless shirts, and the graffiti t-shirts, 2 of each color, red, ocean blue, and dark gray. Just as he dressed up his new attire, his mother came to look at what her son picked to wear and was surprised to see he picked some good-looking clothes. The whole package fitted him perfectly, and the graffiti t-shirt went along with black paints. You managed to get some good outfit, Naruto-kun, very handsome as well, I might add. Mom, please, sounded Naruto, since every time his mother did this, he blushed like crazy in embarrassment. What you do? Now take a look at these fingerless black gloves I found near the holsters, I think they match your outfit, put it on and let's see, said Kushina while looking at her son's reflection on the mirror. Now, with the gloves, Kushina was now once again worried about fangirls at the academy. Damn that, Minato-kun, you just had to say that, didn't you? Gee, thanks Mom, they are perfect, said Naruto as he closed his hand, forming a fist to see how it would be to fight using the gloves, and to his amazement, the rubber wasn't so tight, giving some almost a free hand when to form seals and all. Great, now let's go. Here, Tanaka-san, we would like 7 pairs of the black cargo paints, 4 sleeveless fishnet shirts and 6 of these graffiti t-shirts, 2 on each color, please, said Kushina as she motioned to buy the clothes from a dear friend of his that happened to be a retired umbu. Okay, Kushina-san, so this is Naruto, it's a pleasure to meet you. I figure you're entering the academy this year, right? My daughter will start attending this year as well. Yes, she's quite anxious to get out of the shop for a while. She has a like for weapons like no one I ever met before, said Tanaka just for Naruto to remember the girl on the back, and he figured that. Pleasure is all mine, Tanaka-san. Yes, I will be attending the academy as well, said Naruto as he saw Kushina handing the right amount of money to cover everything. Right, Kushina-san, everything will be ready in 2 days, be sure to stop by then to pick them, Naruto-kun, I'll be waiting you, said Tanaka as he demonstrated a genuine smile towards the boy who just returned to gesture equally. Okay, Tanaka-san, see you in 2 days, bye. With Team 2. At training ground number 2, Team 2 were beginning their training, since today wouldn't be any mission scheduled. They were doing some warm-up exercises almost eagerly in anticipation, since today they would be learning elemental chakra manipulation as well as some jutsus according to each ninja's elemental affinity. Since Genma knew his already, which by the way was fire, Aoba could help him a lot, since one of his affinities that Aoba possessed is fire, as earth being the other one. But since Aoba was very diligent as a teacher, he along with other Jounin senseis, gathered a little jutsu library for each affinity, so that the genins could learn throughout their careers. Actually, it would be also served for the new academy, since elemental ninjutsu was in fact a new subject at the new academy. Kurinai-san and Yugogo-san, as you know, these are elemental chakra papers. So go ahead, channel chakra through them and let's see in what element are each of you aligned with, said Aoba as he handed the chakra papers. He decided to speak once again. Remember, if the papers burns, it's katan; if it crumble, right-un; if the paper splits in half, futon; if it's wet, sway-tun; and if it turns to dust, doton. As Sensei Aoba instructed, Yugogo and Kurinai channeled chakra through the papers. With that, Yugogo's chakra paper soaked wet and Kurinai turned to ashes, meaning sway-tun for Yugogo and katan for Kurinai. I see you got sway-tun, Yugogo-san. Actually, it's perfect for your style of fighting, since you can fight in great speeds. The basics of sway-tun ninjutsu is having the force of a strong current from the bottom and calm from the surface. As your fluidity in moving progresses, so will be your sway-tun ninjutsu. But unfortunately, I don't have most knowledge on sway-tun ninjutsus, making it difficult for me to teach you, but take this. This scroll would give you everything to know about sway-tun jutsu and how to attain it. Now about the list of jutsus at the last page of the scroll. Do not try this labeled as B-ranked jutsus only until you become chunin, said Aoba as he tossed a big-sized scroll with practically all that is to know about sway-tun jutsus. Now, Kurinai-san, since your element is fire, I believe a more direct approach from me will be sufficient for ninjutsu training, seeing the fact that you wanted to specialize in genjutsu usage. So, I would be teaching 4 katan jutsus that I believe that will serve you quite well, now to fully use elemental chakra in battle. Kurinai, for her part, was a little bit sad about hearing from Aoba that resorting only to genjutsu in battle isn't enough, but she dismissed the thought when he clarified, saying that it wasn't a problem with genjutsu. Aoba explained that if a ninja resorts to one specific ability in battle, the enemy can overpower him easily, so in order to surprise the opponent, the ninja must have more than good ability. Hence the fact why a jounin must master at least 2 chakra elements to pass the jounin test. Now Yugogo, since you have sway-tun affinity, here is a scroll that explains everything you need to know about sway-tun ninjutsu. Also, try to find someone who could explain them better or to answer any doubts you may have. I'm terribly sorry I won't be able to teach you about it, but I promise to help when I can, okay? It's okay, Aoba-sensei. My father has sway-tun affinity as well, I'll ask him, said Yugogo, smiling to her sensei, making him relax a little bit, since he was truly depressed that he wasn't able to help one of his students. Since Aoba was more of a katan user and much less a doton user, sway-tun ninjutsu simply was the complete opposite of the ones he mastered. At the Namikaze compound. Now back at home, Naruto left his shopping bags on the table, since it was time for lunch. Actually, Naruto was really hungry a while ago, but somehow the quest for having cool ninja stuff, said by himself, made him forget about the fact that his stomach was calling for some assistance, which was surprising for both Naruto and Kushina, since his stomach growled practically the entire time they were at the ninja store and Naruto didn't make a single complaint. After some lunch that he ate together with his mother, Naruto ran upstairs to learn some more about futon chakra. The reason why he was eager with excitement was simple. The next page on the book was an E-ranked ninjutsu called Futon Kaze no Jutsu, Wind Style, Wind Breeze Jutsu, and he was desperate to try his first futon ninjutsu, but little did Naruto know that he already did his first one, by subconsciously adding wind chakra when using the Shunshin, which could be counted like a blur. Naruto entered his room, shut the door, picked the futon book and proceeded to his desk in less than a second. After the book recognized Naruto's affinity, which in fact is necessary since the book doesn't has a memory seal to know Naruto's chakra before check, he opened and proceeded to read where he stopped last time. As he was reading, he came to learn that D-ranked futon ninjutsu could be learned by having mastered the tree walking exercise as opposed to C and higher techniques which required at least water walking exercise, which according to Naruto, he wanted to take it easy at keeping up non-stop on intellectual or spiritual exercises such as chakra control and using ninjutsu. Because of a little incident with Kage Bunshin while trying water walking, he suffered some extreme headache after dispelling the clones, so now he focused mainly on harnessing physical skills, like taijutsu and now target practice since he just acquired kunais and shurikens. As he progressed through the book, he reached his objective for the day, which was to read about D-ranked futon ninjutsu and how to use futon kaze no jutsu. Reading intently, trying not to miss any information regarding the technique, he read the information twice. Futon kaze no jutsu, D-ranked. With the seals as showed below, the ninja throws a wind breeze, by focusing a little quantity of Futon chakra through the ninja's lungs and then exhale it through your mouth. This is a weak version of the Futon de Tapa no Jutsu, which even though has the same concept, is labeled as AC rank jutsu, because of further use of chakra. Figuring he had down the concept of the technique, he went outside for training. The day was a little chilly, which proved to make it hard for him to see if he was able to do it or not. Deciding to turn to the book once again to see if he missed anything, he came to a part which could really help him see if he managed to do it. In order to learn this technique, you have to use against an object who wouldn't move because of the air breeze like leaves. Use instead a little piece of rock which by your wind breeze could move it. Finding a rock as described on the book, he closed his eyes and started doing the meditation part in a way so that Futon chakra starts running through his tenketsus. After 10 minutes of it, he began to feel Futon chakra travel inside his body like he was traveling through the air, certainly relaxing every part of his body in the process. Actually, this new meditation exercise of Naruto, which was described in the book, made his body relax in a way that Naruto could swear that he was lighter than normal. His body was so light that he thought that if he jumped he would just float back on the ground. Now waking up from his meditation and with Futon chakra running through his body, Naruto remembered the hand signs as he progressed through them, molding his chakra for the technique. For his first try, he didn't even felt any breeze coming from his mouth, and only after a while did he realize that he not gathering enough chakra through his lungs, which showed him that even though the book stated that such technique could be learned from having tree walking level of chakra control, it wouldn't be impossible to do it, just difficult. As determined as he was in the fact that he had nothing else to do, he tried again and again. At the third try, he was able to feel the breeze through his throat. Now happy and even more determined, he did once again the hand seals for this time, making the rock move but only slightly. Now fuming with rage for not getting the rock to move further, he decided to have a different approach, pumping more chakra through his lungs and see what happened. After he did it, when he opened his mouth, actually of a little wind breeze, Naruto's was more like a gust of wind, throwing the little rock far away as well as yank a little tree from the ground that his mother had just planted a while ago. Seeing this, he was frightened to death. Somehow Kushina developed a passion for gardening and he began buying book after book about it, trying to learn how to plant and create a beautiful garden. Now remembering his mother's reaction when Minato accidentally stepped one of her plants, and Naruto was now terrified but also happy. Happy because somehow if the book was right, Naruto just made the Futon de Tapa no Jutsu, wind style, great breakthrough jutsu. Since Naruto read a lot, his intellect was further developed and he now was using his thinking only to conclude that the more chakra needed for the technique, the less chakra control he needed for it, being that a theory to him, since he did his supposedly first Futon ninjutsu and AC level no less. Nevertheless, Naruto was terrified, but he decided not to tell anyone, since it would be him on Kushina's target. With Minato, all she did was chase him with throwing kunais at him, but since Minato was way faster than Naruto, he feared that he wouldn't be able to dodge the kunai and would be certain death for him, but he figured that being his mother, she wouldn't go to such a state, or would she? Thinking nothing of it, he turned to see the living room as he heard Minato's voice announcing his arrival. Instantly, he sunshined in a little tornado and appeared in front of his father, trying to scare him or catch him off guard. Just as he arrived where he would catch his father off guard, he didn't count that Minato, being the Hawk aka strongest ninja on the village, as he sensed Futon chakra, just gave 2 steps further from where he was and turned out, now facing a clueless Naruto trying to search for his father. "Trying to scare me, Naruto-kun?" said Minato, earning a scream from Naruto, who was caught by his father by only walking some steps. "Toussan, how did you know what I did even before I appeared?" shouted Naruto, now slightly mad about being busted from his little joke with his father, as well as interested on how the hell did his father knew where he would appear even before he appeared. Little did he know that his shunshin was different than the regular, since it used elemental chakra, therefore being easily noticeable. "I sensed you coming, that's all. Why were you trying to scare me is what I would like to know, little fellow. Would you think you could scare a Hokage, Naruto-kun?" smiled Minato, not knowing of his son's quick response as well as the fact that Naruto scared him once. "Okay, first of all, I did already scared you back when I shunshined behind you. But tell me, how were you able to know where I would be appearing?" "I mean, the shunshin's supposed to be an evasive technique," answered Naruto, earning mumbles from the Hokage which sounded like smartass. "Well, Naruto-kun, a normal shunshin would be an evasive technique, but what you did wasn't a regular one," said Minato, before looked at his son's face to realize that what he just said didn't make any sense to Naruto. "What do you mean normal shunshin? I thought that was only one kind." "Aoba-sensei taught that to me while his team was here," said Naruto, not using his intellect even the slightest, because if he did, he would conclude that every time, since he started reading the book, he tended to apply Futon chakra as well. "So, you mean to tell me that you don't know you are using Futon chakra together with the shunshin?" asked Minato only with the purpose to enlighten his son's question, since he saw the young kid's eyes widen in realization of what happened. Naruto, for his part, felt like an idiot now, seeing that he was subconsciously using futon chakra every time. Son, don't berate yourself. Already using elemental manipulation at your age is an astonishing feat, and it seemed that by your display of Shunshin, that your element in wind. But tell me, son, how did you know about even using futon chakra, let alone actually make futon ninjutsus? Asked Minato, now more perplexed at the fact that his son could already use futon chakra was 6 years old. Naruto, for his part, remembered his father berating him for training high-level ninjutsu before going to the academy, and he didn't want for his father to know about his book about futon jutsu, but now he had to tell and await the consequences. When you and Mom were away, I went to the library and found a book about futon ninjutsu written by a famous jounin back in Suna. The book had a seal that checked to see if the person who's holding the book has futon as an element, and when I picked it up from the library, the book checked me and open. I've been reading it ever since," said Naruto with his head down, awaiting the punishment, which surprisingly enough, never came. Instead, Minato just landed his hand on top of Naruto's head and began to harass his hair while smiling. "What, were you expecting punishment for disobeying my orders, Naruto-kun? Don't be, really. I laid that order in order to prevent any serious danger involving using high-level ninjutsu and the effect on the person's chakra supply. But since you were precocious either by understanding the concept behind futon ninjutsu as well as tree-walking chakra level of control mastered, but I'm sure that the book said to have at least water-walking exercise chakra control. Be proud of yourself, Naruto-kun. You are growing and soon you will be a great shinobi. I can pretty much see it," said Minato, extremely proud of his son's early accomplishments, and soon to be considered a genius just like Itachi. Now wondering about the Uchiha genius, the yandame was worried about him. It's been some time since he was upgraded to Umbu captain, and according to the head of the Umbu division, Itachi seemed to be getting somewhat bored about doing what seemed to be almost suicidal missions. Minato strongly believed that putting a 13-year-old into Umbu was pure madness. Umbu can surely be stressful to say the least, few hours to sleep every day, constantly locked in death battles and war zones. Being an Umbu wasn't just because the guy had skills as a shinobi. Experience on the battlefield was vital for an Umbu to survive while serving as an Umbu. Itachi, some time ago, told Minato that he saw great potential in Naruto as a future shinobi, and now Minato figured that Naruto was actually the main reason why the Uchiha genius didn't go nuke Nin or something like that. Itachi, considered a genius among shinobi, had an advanced growth, so to say. Graduated at the academy was 7 years old, being Chunin by the age of 10. He was the reason why Naruto didn't go to the academy at an early age. Taking it easy sometimes helped more than push up the limit. The mind has to have time to grow. Every step in life should be taken one at a time, so as to not backfire and the ninja snap and lose his sanity in the process. Itachi eventually cursed in front of the yandame about shinobis being too damn proud of their Kekkei Genkais or heritage, and the fact that all of them with very few exceptions didn't even bother to train harder or even progress the bloodline. Now looking at his son, he figured the answer to a doubt he brought up to the Sandame about what to do in order to grow the future genin's skills as well as intellect, mind training. Like Naruto, every academy student must form his little library of books to read about shinobi aspects, or at least have a weekly attendance at Konoha's public library. Sometimes, the search for information can overcome some doubts as well as harness the ninja's way of thinking so to get out of a tough situation or come up with a strategy to complete the mission. For Naruto's part, he was watching his father as he was lost in thoughts about something he couldn't put his mind on. Tusan? What? Oh, sorry about that. Tell me, Naruto-kun, how much of futon chakra usage you know, and more importantly, is futon shunshin the only technique you know how to do? Asked Minato, awaiting the answer only to confirm the last piece of the puzzle that was to come up with a new academy. Actually, I didn't know I made futon shunshin, but I also have a second technique I learned from the book. Well, actually, I didn't quite get it. You see, the technique called futon kaze no jutsu is a D-ranked one, but because my control is not up to water walking level, I couldn't do it completely. But as I read the book, it said that such technique is a weaker version of the futon de tapa no jutsu, with the difference being more chakra. So after a few 20 times I tried that first one, I grew tired of it and just used a lot of chakra, actually doing the latter. But there is one problem, Tusan, and I think that Ka-san would not be as thrilled as you are right now, said Naruto, now being frightened again. What is it? Wait, you didn't mean you said you used the futon de tapa at the garden? No, Naruto-kun. That technique could dismantle any tree from the garden. Wait a minute, said Minato as he went to the garden, only to see the entire landscape from the right corner leveled in place where Kushina's first plant gone, well, second being first the one that he stepped in. Naruto-kun, your mother is going to be so pissed at you, and the fact is I'm too scared of her to, said Minato, stopping dead on his tracks as his shinobi senses were shouting like mad people running away from a bijou, and instantly he knew this feeling. It was the same time he stepped on top of the first plant Kushina grew, and now his son was in deep trouble. What could be described as hilarious from some people, for Naruto and Minato was a scene for Shinigami himself in a bad day. When Naruto and Minato turned, their eyes meet with Kushina's red blood eyes fuming with rage at not only seeing the entire landscape leveled, but also her plant gone. Without hesitation and utterly furious, Kushina picked a kunai and started to chase the Namikaze duo in extreme rage, much to the blonde's despair. Naruto-kun, deactivate your gravity seal this instant and run for your life, screamed Minato as he along with his son was sprinting around the now leveled garden with Kushina chasing them with a kunai in hand and screaming for blood. Meanwhile at the Hyuga household, Hyuga Hizashi and Hyuga Niji were sparring when suddenly they felt a major killing intent coming from the Namikaze residence. "Tu-san, did you feel it? It's coming from Naruto-san's house? Do you think they are in danger? Should we help them?" asked Niji before seeing that his father was trying hard not to fall down laughing like a maniac. After a little struggle, he gave up and held his stomach laughing his ass off at what he spotted with his Byakugan. "Niji-kun, do me a favor, try to use your Byakugan a little further, and you will understand why I'm like this, ha 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 ha," said Hizashi, almost not able to even talk because of all the laughter and the sudden loss of air while laughing. As Niji activated further the Byakugan, he came to a scene of Naruto and the Hokage running away from what seemed to be a possessed Kushina holding a kunai in a threatening manner towards the two. Upon seeing this, he could only do one thing: laugh just like his father did, because of the funny situation of seeing the Hokage running away scared from a bloodthirsty wife a kunai on her hand. Back at the Namikaze compound. After some 30 laps around the Namikaze compound, a tired Kushina just went inside, having given up from getting angry at the blondes, since she came to realize that while they used the garden as training, a lot of damage could be done, so she figured that she would open a garden store or buy a little land just for gardening. For Naruto and Minato's part, they whispered in relief seeing that their supposed killer had given up and just went inside. Recovering his breathing now, Minato turned to Naruto and promptly asked Naruto to do the Futon de Tapa again so he could see it. Just as Naruto was going to do the jutsu, his father stopped him, pointing to the air showing him where to aim the technique, which he complied with laughter and scratching the back of his head, not wanting to have to escape his mother's wrath any longer. "Futon de Tapa no Jutsu," said Naruto as he exhaled now a larger gust of wind from his mouth up to the sky, earning some applauses from his father. Needless to say, Naruto's skills were growing at an excellent pace. 2 days since Naruto's de Tapa destroyed Kushina's little chance of beginning a garden creation, the blonde headed for the ninja shop in order to pick up the outfit which, according to his mother's friend, it was supposed to be ready by now. But instead of just walking towards the place, Naruto, being a tank filled with energy, channeled chakra through his feet and began jumping through rooftops like a maniac, smiling all the way there. Half the way, Naruto stopped to see the academy building to the left, and he screamed inside his mind about training even harder and perhaps even learn new jutsus on the way as well. Since he discovered how to do a C rank level technique, it wouldn't be hard to learn another one that he has yet to find on the book. This time, since the de Tapa was offensive technique, Minato proposed to him to learn a C rank defensive attack that could match the force of the de Tapa concerning defense, like a shield of wind or something like that. Minato was extremely proud of the boy for grasping first elemental techniques than non-elemental ones. Normally, the elemental ones was tougher to learn and required much dedication, but since Naruto already developed Futon ninjutsu early, Minato concluded that the non-elemental ones wouldn't need very much of him. His father thought of teaching him other Kage, shadow, techniques, like Kage Shuriken no Jutsu, Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu, but he thought better of it. Naruto was growing fast, but not only the fact that Naruto was keeping his own pace, adapting while learning from his books, but also he wanted for Naruto to choose his jutsu arsenal, just like he did when he was growing up. Minato was all in favor of his son asking for help on a certain jutsu than for him to just choose one and teach it to Naruto. For Naruto's part, he wasn't the one who wanted to make his father proud. Sure, he was happier when his father commended him on his skills, but most of the things he did, all his training, all the reading was because of him and his need to fulfill a desire to become strong and be able to protect others. Naruto was one more step from beginning his ninja career and he was getting excited by the minute. At the shop. As he arrived at the shop, he arrived only to see the girl he remembered from 2 days ago with the kung fu style outfit, reading something behind the counter. Upon close inspection, Naruto managed to see what she was reading, and it turned out to be a book about famous weapons across the shinobi world. Not wanting to disturb her at the moment, he figured that if he would check around the store a little bit, the girl would notice a customer and attend him. So he turned to see some shinobi weapons that were on display on the left side of the shop. The weapons were divided in swords, knives, bow staffs and kunai/shurikens. As he took a wakizashi, The sound of the little sword coming out of the holster got the girl's attention, and she immediately dropped the book. "Hello there, customer-san, what are you interested in?" Approached Tenten as well as mentally studied the boy who seemed to be around her age, but slightly taller than her, as well as the fact that the way he was holding the sword showed her that the gaki didn't have any sword skills at all. "Hi there, I'm sorry, I was just admiring this sword here. But why I came exactly is to pick up some clothes I bought 2 days ago. I'm sorry, but I haven't asked about your name. I'm sorry, my name is Namikaze Naruto, nice to meet you," said Naruto as he put the sword back to its place on the shelf as well as give the girl a ticket needed to withdraw the clothes he purchased. "It's okay. Nice to meet you, my name is Makoto Tenti. Wait right here, your clothes are ready, I'll go get it for you." "Okay, thanks a lot," thanked Naruto as he watched Tenti climb up some set of stairs in order to get Naruto's packages. After she came back with a sack, Naruto was going to pick them up, when Tenti stopped him saying that there were another package since it was a whole wardrobe worth of new clothes and one sack just wouldn't do. After she came with the last one, he wondered how the hell could he carry the two of them since both of them were very heavy to carry and he didn't like to focus chakra on his arms to lift the goddamn thing together. He figured that if he did that, he would suffer from chakra exhaustion at half the way to his house. "If you want to, I can help you carry the bags up to your house. You know, 2 people can carry it better than 1, said Tenti, offering help for Naruto, not at all realizing that she just gave him an excellent idea. While he didn't want to become a burden for her, he acknowledged the idea of 2 people being better than 1 to carry. "Thanks Tenti-san, but it's no problem, I just need 2 new pair of hands to carry them, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," screamed Naruto, making the hand seal necessary for the clone to appear and pick one of the sacks while the real Naruto went to pick up the other one, leaving a perplexed Tenti. "Thanks for the clothes, see you around, okay?" said the 2 Narutos in unison, earning a simple huff from Tenti as she processed the information on the fact Naruto had created a clone of himself which appeared to have a life on his own, quite different than the regular Bunshin, which was basically an illusion. "See you?" After walking away from the store, the Naruto duo jumped up to the rooftops and started heading to his house so to drop the stuff and find a defensive futon jutsu to balance the odds when fighting. With Yugago. Yugago was traveling through rooftops as well, heading for the training ground that her team met every day. She was remembering about her Suiton affinity and the scroll's teachings. While she understood the concept of water manipulation, she was having hard times applying the theory to practice. She even asked her father for some guidelines in achieving the water manipulation, but what he said pretty much confused her even more. Flashback on. Yugago was standing on top of a river near her house, trying to apply what she learned about Suiton manipulation, but she just couldn't get the water to evaporate, which was the first exercise and the first jutsu on the scroll, as well called Suiton Ain no Jutsu, water style, rain jutsu. With this jutsu, the ninja could create a little rain cloud and form a little rain. But since she couldn't even make the water to move to her call, she as hell won't be able to do the technique. While she was trying, her father was passing by and saw his daughter trying to manipulate water just like did when he was her age. A little memory passed through his head and he smiled a bit. Back then, he was as well on top of the water trying to manipulate Suiton ninjutsu. But he knew the answer as to why his daughter couldn't do it and sighed, thinking that Yugago's active personality was becoming an obstacle to her growth as a kunoichi. "Yugago-chan, I see you're trying on Suiton, aren't you?" smiled Momoto, seeing the angry face on his daughter, wondering mentally that the look of her was the whole reason why she couldn't do it. "Two-san, I can't do it, it's really tough, you're a Suiton type as well, doesn't you? Do you have some pointers for me, please?" "Sweaty, if you want to learn how to manipulate water, you have to become like the water, deadly below the surface while calm on the surface. Remember that if you want to be able to control Suiton ninjutsu. Anyway, your mother called, it's dinner time, come," said Momoto, as he turned and headed for the house, leaving a thoughtful Yugago, remembering Aoba saying the same thing. Flashback off. Yugago was pounding on what her father meant when he said it, but even though she understood what she had to do, she didn't know how to do. Deadly below the surface, calm on the surface. What does that mean? As she was jumping through rooftops, her eyes caught 2 people looking exactly the same, carrying each one a bag or something like that. Upon close inspection, she recognized the duo as being Naruto, and what could be one of his clones. Seeing that she was early, she decided to grate the little blonde and see what is he up to. Upon arrival, she noticed that he stopped and turned to look at her with an inquisitive face. "Why are you following me, Yugago-san? You could just say hello, you know," said Naruto, earning mumbles from Yugago as she was cursing his sarcastic attitude. "Hello Naruto-kun, what you up to?" asked Yugago, seizing up, while noticing that Naruto had a new look for him. He was wearing black umbu paints, a fishnet shirt with a graffiti t-shirt as well as a black fingerless glove. She had to admit that new look suited very well. He already looks like a genin in those clothes, Naruto-kun. I'm heading home. I need to drop this bags there and after that, I'm doing a little reading on a specific book I'm interested in, said Naruto, not at all willing to spoil the surprise on Yugo's face when the next time they spar, Naruto used futon ninjutsu. And you, Yugo-san, how's going? I'm heading to meet my team. Say Naruto-kun, that new looks of yours suited you pretty good, you already look like a genin in these outfit, said Yugo, as she once again witnessed one of her favorite sights, a blushing Naruto, and couldn't feel but smile upon seeing the look on his face. Hee, you really think so? Asked Naruto, not managing to control the amount of red on his face from hearing a compliment from Yugo. Of course. Now what do you say we have a little spar so I can get warmed up for missions? I know you can't resist a challenge, now don't you, Naruto-kun, what do you say? Just name the place, Yugo-san. Oh, I've been meaning to ask you, how is the gravity seal coming along? Answered Naruto as he remembered that she was using one and didn't seem to have trouble moving around. I've already adapted to it. Follow me, we are going to that training ground right there. Say, Naruto-kun, could you put one more after our spar? I want to get stronger, and this seal of yours really does the trick. How many do you have right now? Said Yugo, as both of them were already heading for the training ground. I have 4 on me. But the 4th one proved to be a bit of a challenge. It's hard to move without channeling chakra, but I'll